on Superstation WGN.
It's the Hyundai Leadoff Man Show. Now, here's Len Casper.
That is not Len Casper, as far as you know. And we're set for the Hyundai Leadoff Man. Another gorgeous day here at Wrigley Field as the Cubs end their first homestand of 2008, hosting the Houston Astros. Hi again, everyone. See, I'm already up here, so we're not quite sure if that was me earlier or not. The Cubs today try to win this series. It's the rubber game in a wild and wacky Wrigley Field affair yesterday. Let's check out the highlights. The Cubs found themselves down early yet again, but Derrek Lee with a home run to right in the third, tying the game at 2-2. And then getting some love from his teammates in the dugout. Carlos Lee, however, would return the favor in the fourth with a home run. Astros back up 3-2. Carlos and Derrek Lee combined for 7 hits on the day. Reed Johnson in his first start as a Cub contributed. He was thrown out on a ground ball to short, but he gets the RBI as Ryan Theriot scores in the 7th. That a part of a huge rally. Derrek Lee again tying the game this time with a single to left. And then the red-hot Kosuke Fukudome laced into left, got by Carlos Lee. He would be credited with a go-ahead 2-run double. Reed Johnson would add on a little bit later in the 8th inning, plating Ronnie Cedeno. That made it 9-7. And then into the 9th, Kerry Wood with his second save opportunity. He would go 1-2-3, getting Hunter Pence on a ground out to Ryan Theriot. Cubs win and a chance to take this series today. Kevin Hart with his first major league victory in relief. Fukudome with a couple of hits. Derrek Lee was a perfect 4 for 4. And when we come back, Derek will sit down with my partner, Bob Brenly. But as we go to break on the Hyundai Leadoff Man Show, we'd like to recognize our Chicagoland Hyundai dealer of the game, Family Hyundai, 8325 West 159th in Tinley Park, Illinois. Hyundai, the right choice. Log on to myhyundaichicago.com. We'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I love helping folks save money on car insurance, but I also love supporting wildlife conservation. I'm teaming up with the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. I mean, that's why I'm here, really. I'm going to be making the rounds at a whole bunch of zoos. Hello? And I guess we're done talking? Well, that's that then, isn't it? Don't you even want to know where I'll be?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Tired of another sleepless night? For help falling asleep and staying asleep, there's 2-layer Ambien CR. The first layer helps you fall asleep fast, but unlike other sleep aids, there's a second layer that helps you stay asleep. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Sleepwalking and eating or driving while not fully awake with amnesia for the event have been reported. In rare cases, sleep aids may cause severe allergic reactions, such as swelling of your tongue or throat or shortness of breath. If you experience any of these behaviors or reactions, contact your doctor immediately. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic and can be taken for as long as your prescriber recommends. However, like most sleep aids, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. Ask your prescriber about Ambien CR for a good night's sleep from start to finish.
The Hyundai Leadoff Man, brought to you in part by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. And by Hyundai. See your local Hyundai dealer today. Hyundai, the right choice. Log on to myhyundaichicago.com.
The Cubs try to win their first homestand at 500. They'll help the Pirates open up PNC Park in Pittsburgh tomorrow afternoon. Well, what a day for Derrek Lee. He's gotten off to a good start. A couple of home runs in his first week. It took him several weeks to get his first home run last season. 4 for 4 yesterday, and he's joined by Bob Brenly now on the field.
Thanks a lot, Len. It's our pleasure to be joined on the field today by Cubs first baseman Derrek Lee. Big day yesterday, 4 hits, helping the Cubs win that ball game. They'll look to take the series against the Astros today. And talk about yesterday's ball game. When you get 4 knocks in one ball game, what do you feel like at the plate?
Things just kind of slow down for you. Ball starts looking good, and it doesn't really matter so much what the pitcher throws up there. If it's a strike, you feel like you're going to get a good swing off, and that's how I felt yesterday.
And if you can figure out how to bottle that feeling and have it every day, you'd be a rich man.
That's for sure. This game will be real fun if you could do that every day.
Yeah, talking about being a rich man, and he will be very shortly if he isn't already. Kosuke Fukudome. I know you guys rely a lot on Gerald Perry. You watch a lot of video. You take a lot of extra batting practice. Can you learn something from one of your teammates watching his approach at the plate?
Oh, no question. You know, it's fun to watch Kosuke, just the way he plays the game. He does every aspect of the game well, and it's fun to watch. You know, he doesn't know these pitchers, and yet he has a great approach at the plate. So, you know, he's studying film. He has his scouting reports on the bench. He's studying, and you know, it's just playing good baseball right now. You know, one of the new changes here at Wrigley Field this year, a new playing surface, and a lot has been said about how fast the ball is getting through the infield. What kind of adjustments have you had to make defensively here at Wrigley? Well, you just have to know it's playing fast, and you know it's probably a step faster. So you got to be on your toes and ready to go. But as a hitter, I like it.
Well, of course you like it as a hitter. Give us a quick scouting report on Brandon Backey, the starter for the Astros today.
Throw strikes, likes to mix up his pitches, a little tailing fastball, curveball, little slider. You know, when he's on, he's throwing all those pitches for strikes. So, you know, just kind of be patient with him, get a pitch you like, and take a good swing. You know, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you. You were recruited to play basketball at North Carolina. The Tar Heels went down last night. Who do you like in the final on Monday? Man, you know, I watched both those games last night, and Kansas played great, but I think Memphis is just too tough. Derrick Rose at the point. CDR, Roberts, I think he's a good player. I got to go with Memphis. All right, you heard it here first. Forget all those touts in the magazine. Derrek Lee said Memphis is going to win the NCAA men's final. Back to you, Len.
Sounds good to me. Thanks, Bob. And when we come back, we'll talk not only about today's starting pitchers, but we'll take a look back at a great first week as a Chicago Cub for Kosuke Fukudome.
Selling corner gas.
This is terrible. It's awful. I'm going to be sick to my stomach.
I'm going back to Toronto. I'm going to open up a restaurant there.
What? When?
Today.
You're opening a restaurant today?
No, I'm leaving today.
All things come to an end.
Goodbye, you jackass.
Corner Gas. Tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
See you tomorrow, Steve.
Do not let her get gum. You know it's Tony Stewart.
Tony, get the camera.
I've got the camera. Oh, Tony, he's a huge fan. Ready?
Tony, you okay?
Armor All wash, wipes, and tire shines. Go ahead, stare. And for even better defense against UV rays, try new and improved Armor All Protectant.
Dan Scott is a real Geico customer, not an actor. So to help tell his story, we hired someone who interviews actors.
It was the weekend, and I had questions about my policy.
You had questions? How existential.
I called Geico. They were so helpful and gracious.
I've heard they were also quite beneficent and magnanimous.
It was refreshing to talk to an actual human being.
Human beings behaving humanly. Brilliant.
Geico. Real service, real savings.
Now you can slow down and grill with new Kingsford Hickory Charcoal.
The Hyundai Leadoff Man, brought to you in part by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. And by Hyundai. See your local Hyundai dealer today. Hyundai, the right choice. Log on to myhyundaichicago.com.
Now the starting pitchers. Carlos Zambrano coming off his best career opening day assignment. It was not a win for Carlos, but shutout ball into the 7th before leaving with the forearm cramps. Brandon Backey came off Tommy John surgery last year, made just 5 starts. Well, Kosuke Fukudome signed a 4-year contract over the winter, and there was a lot of hype surrounding his arrival in the big leagues. And you'd have to say after just 5 games, he has certainly matched the hype. There's a swing and a drive, deep right center. That ball carrying. Tie game! Tie game! Kosuke has done it! Oh, baby!
Just think about it. Get it?
On the next Scrubs.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but I've been really digging you lately.
Oh, I'm aware, baby. Everybody's into something. JD's into romance.
Now let's get that shirt off.
The janitor's into art.
You usually have to go to a van convention to see art of this quality.
And Turk's into being a dad.
Look who I brought to see her mama.
Somebody else's child?
Somebody just stole a baby.
Next Scrub. Tonight at 11 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Oscar always treated people with great respect.
Hey, jackass, stop talking with this old wingnut and pump my gas. Someone has a crush on me.
Is Helen Keller back in town?
There's a bond between father and son that's strong and sacred.
Hey, idiot! You left the lid in the dumpster up last night. Crows have scattered garbage all over the place out there, and I'll be damned if I'm gonna clean it. It'll be you out there on your hands and knees scraping up crow crap.
Well, he's a people person.
Notice how digital's made pretty much everything better, especially television. Digital TV's got better picture, better sound, more channels. In fact, digital's so much better that by law, all broadcast TV has to be digital by 2009. But there's a catch. Some TVs need an upgrade to get digital. You could even lose your signal. Get the facts. Visit dtvanswers.com to learn about television switch to digital. Or call this number to see how you can stay connected.
There's a good little fishy. America's Funniest Home Videos. Today at 6 Eastern on Superstation WGN. The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
From the corner of Clark and Addison on the north side of Chicago, we are set for Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. A big day. The blue jerseys are back. You know who's pitching. Carlos Zambrano, who loves those blue unis. It's the rubber game today, and the Cubs try to end their first homestand at 500 as they host the Houston Astros. Another great day for baseball here at the ballpark, and alongside Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. This has become a habit. I think we've set a record for talking about one guy in the open, Kosuke Fukudome.
And why not? He's done everything you could ask a ball player to do on the field. He's run the bases extremely well. He's hit well. He's taken walks. Superior defense. 8 for 16 on the season. He leads the National League in hitting, second in on-base percentage, second in slugging percentage, first in on-base percentage. He's involved in everything right now.
He can lay down a bunt too, can't he?
He can do that too.
Carlos Zambrano likes to hit the ball out of the ballpark at the plate, but he'll try to keep the Astros in the ballpark.
Well, hopefully Carlos will have a similar performance that he had on opening day against the Brewers. We all know that cramping caused him to come out of this ball game. He was stellar while he was in the game.
Another one of the great athletes on the mound in the National League, Brandon Backey.
Yeah, limited to only 5 starts last year, recovering from Tommy John surgery, number 2 in their rotation this year.
And we're getting set for the first pitch, but as always on Sundays, we'll send it down to the field before our national anthem. God Bless America, Leroy Elsley with the honors.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the nights with the lights from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. My home, sweet home. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the parallel fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free, and the home of the brave.
Outstanding work by Leroy Elsley, getting this crowd ready for Cubs baseball. Astros and Cubs next.
Chicago Cubs baseball brought to you by Bud Light. Endless refreshment from start to finish. Bud Light keeps it coming. The Chicagoland area Dodge dealers and the all-new 2009 Dodge Journey. AT&T. See what's new from the new AT&T. Visit att.com for details. The Illinois Lottery. Play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi, every sip gets you closer. And by Southwest Airlines, you're now free to be more productive. Visit southwest.com today.
The Final Four take on the Bee Gees.
I knew nothing about the Bee Gees. Nothing.
And these two are doing the same song. But only one does it right.
Horrible. Everything about that was horrible.
You're horrible.
Plus, exclusive interviews.
If I had gone home, I was going to kick Josh right there on national television.
American Idol Rewind. Tonight at 8 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Okay, guys, American chicks love default an accent. Go.
You have the thighs of a Sherpa.
Say hi. Hi. No, not hi, hi, hi.
Hi, hi, hi.
She has your eyes. Watch the master do it, boys. Hello. You are so very sexy.
Sorry. I'm with someone.
Bud Light. Endless refreshment from start to finish. Bud Light keeps it coming.
We make sandwich. I am meat.
My name is Sandra, and I got on eHarmony, and I met and married the most wonderful man of my life, Scott. I told my sister Tracy to give eHarmony a try. She met and married Todd when Todd's mother Eunice saw how great of a match we were.
And she was ready to get a dog, and so I just asked her, I said,
Mom, wouldn't you rather have a man than a dog? So he puts me on eHarmony. Lo and behold, look what happened.
she got my dog.
Find out what everybody's talking about. Visit eHarmony.com today.
Today, we're observing the Geico Gecko, an extraordinary creature with a most curious adaptation. The ability to save people hundreds of dollars on their car insurance. Let's watch.
That's odd.
Whoa. Fascinating.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Today's Cubs broadcast on WGN Sports is brought to you in beautiful high definition, sponsored by Comcast. Ernie Banks Commemorative Plaque Day. The first 10,000 fans through the gates receive this awesome Ernie Banks Commemorative Plaque. Let's play two. We're going to play one, at least for now, as the Astros will line up this way offensively against Carlos Zambrano. Already injuries for the Astros. Bourne, Pence, Erstad in there for Lance Berkman. He left early with a neck spasm. Might be available to pinch hit. Carlos Lee in left. Miguel Tejada at short. Jeff Blum is in for Ty Wigginton, who suffered a fractured left thumb in the ball game yesterday. Tomas Perez at second. Tolles and Backey make up the battery.
And here's how the Cubs take the field defensively today behind Big Z, brought to you by Pepsi. Every sip gets you closer. A couple of changes in the lineup from opening day. Soriano's in left, Fukudome in right. Reed Johnson getting his second consecutive start in center field. Ramirez, Terrio, DeRosa, Lee once again across the infield. The other change behind the plate, veteran Henry Blanco getting the nod today, and he'll be doing the catching for the big right-hander Carlos Zambrano.
Carlos loves the alternate blue tops, and they're back after a brief hiatus. My guess is we'll probably see them about 31 or 32 times, or however many more starts he has. One strike on Michael Bourne, and we're underway. The wind coming out of the east or the southeast. So kind of a cross from right to left, maybe in from right at times.
Figures to help right-handed pull hitters and lefties that go to the opposite field. Figures to hurt the left-handed pull hitters.
53 degrees, and technically the wind out of the east at 8. Foul tip into the glove for strike 2. 2-2 on the speedy Michael Bourne.
Bourne reached base twice yesterday, a single, and scored in the first inning. Triple in the 7th with 2 outs, was stranded at third base. Always a key to keep this guy and Hunter Pence off base.
A ground ball ticketed toward right, and Bourne is on base, and this is A battle of strengths here. Carlos is one of the best pitchers in all of baseball at holding on base runners, and Michael Bourne is already 4 for 4. We'll see what gives.
I was about to say, not as much of a factor with Big Z on the mound because he unloads the ball so quickly, and with Henry Blanco and his strong throwing arm behind the plate, they figure to be able to neutralize that running game that the Astros have at the top of their order.
Here are the numbers as Pence digs in. Base stealers had gone 7 for 22 against Carlos the last 3 years. 7 steals. And that ball briefly got away from Derrek. 7 allowed over a 3-year period, which is tremendous, especially for a righty. He did give up 1 on opening day, but he also picked off a runner. So
even considering 22 attempts over 3 years, that tells you how quick he is to the plate.
Base hit to left for Pence. And this is looking like the first inning of Jason Marquis yesterday. Second and third with no outs. They got 1 off Marquis on Saturday in the first inning. One of the problems this week is the Cubs have not scored first yet in a ball game. This is game 6, and the Astros are threatening.
Pence showing a very quick bat right there. That was a tailing fastball that was actually off the plate inside. It was up a little bit, able to keep it fair down in that corner. And no surprise, Michael Bourne able to go first to third on that ball hit to left field. He can take that extra base on just about anything put into play.
Again, no Lance Berkman in the lineup. It's Darren Erstad instead. Erstad came in for Berkman and went 2 for 2 in the middle game. Berkman, by the way, 8 for 54 versus Zambrano with 4 home runs, 13 walks, and 16 strikeouts.
Now, there aren't very many pitchers in the major leagues that have held Lance Berkman to a 148 lifetime average.
2 strikes on Erstad. Carlos Lee is next.
Nice sequence already here from Zambrano. Started Erstad with a changeup, an 83-mile-an-hour changeup, a little off-speed pitch fading away, got the swinging strike. Comes back with a 95-mile-an-hour heater right on the outside corner.
They would love a strikeout in this spot. Topper off the plate, kicks foul.
I wonder if this is the decaffeinated version of Carlos Zambrano. The cramping problems that he had on opening day, it's speculated directly related to his caffeine intake that morning. So see how it goes for Carlos today.
Brian Runge will work the plate in his 10th year. 3rd generation umpire. Father Paul, grandfather Ed, also major league umpires. Fouled back.
I caught many games in front of Brian Runge's father Paul, one of the best umpires in the game at that time. Tell you, his daddy called a wide strike zone though. You had a command pitcher on the mound that could hit his spots. You could cheat off that outside corner a couple of extra inches in a key situation and still get the call.
A little bit out off the outside corner.
Could have used his daddy right there on that one. Borderline pitch, just a little off the outside corner. Good effort by Big Z to paint that outside black. See where Henry is set up. It just stays out there a little bit too far.
A single and a double, and Zambrano in trouble. Swing and the miss. I didn't try to rhyme that, by the way. It just happened. I know you were impressed.
Yeah, you can't help yourself, can you? Boy, this is something you really have to love from Carlos Zambrano in the early going. Granted, it's only 6 innings opening day, and so far here in the first inning today, but changing speeds on that slider. Well, we've seen about a 10-mile-per-hour variation on that pitch depending on what he's trying to do. That time he wanted a swinging strike, took a lot off that breaking ball, and retires Erstad.
Carlos Lee has hit in 5 straight, coming off a 3 for 4 performance. Recently became the all-time RBI leader among Panama-born players. Past Ben Ogilvy. Also leads in home runs among Panamanian-born players. Soriano's going to get set. Makes a catch. Bourne headed toward the plate. The throw there. Hey! Got him! Wow, he threw out Michael Bourne at the plate. A bullet from Soriano. He has really scuffled at the plate. Maybe this can get him untracked.
Well, sometimes a great defensive play will get you on track. What a good throw. Plays that fade. Henry doesn't even give him any plate to slide into. Big C's fired up.
So he gets out of it, and the Cubs are coming up.
The generation that swore it would never get old didn't. Welcome to the summer of life. And now there's an official hair treatment of the summer of your life. New Touch of Gray from Just for Men. Lets you keep a little gray. Works gradually. Just comb in, rinse.
Never trust anybody over 90.
Keep a little gray with New Touch of Gray.
Now you can slow down and grill with new Kingsford Hickory Charcoal.
And that's what it's like to be a spy.
Whoa. Hey, kids. Hi. I'm Sarah's father. Not a spy or anything. My wife and I just own the Dairy Queen up the road, and I thought I'd make you all blizzards today.
Yeah! He's making blizzards!
How do you go on after that?
It's a tough act to follow. The new Tin Roof Brownie Blizzard. Chocolatey covered peanuts and chewy brownie pieces.
Lou Pinella's lineup against the Astros, brought to you by Pepsi. Every sip gets you closer. They were booing Alfonso yesterday when he went 0 for 5, but they were on their feet when he made that great throw. Mentioned Johnson in the lineup. Henry Blanco getting his first start of the year, and Soriano is in the box against right-hander Brandon Backey, who just turned 30 yesterday. Ball one.
And Derrek Lee gave us the scouting report on Brandon Backey. Throws strikes, fastball, curveball, slider, an occasional change up to a left-hander. A very aggressive pitcher on the mound.
Just 13 major league starts over the last 2 years. Soriano hustling, barehanded play by Jeff Blum, and he gets the out.
With a defensive play by Soriano, and Henry Blanco got the fans on their feet early here at Wrigley Field. Soriano does a nice job of staying behind the baseball, allowing him some momentum going into his throw. And that patented fade, the ball starts on the infield side, takes a perfect skip to Blanco, blocks the plate effectively. Zambrano able to escape damage there in the first inning.
So the first outfield assist of the year for Soriano. I'll double check, but I think he had 41 over the last 2 years to lead the major leagues. Yeah, Jeff Francoeur next on that list with 32. Second straight start for Reed Johnson, and he could potentially get 4 in a row because the Cubs will face left-handers Monday and Wednesday. Tom Gorzolani tomorrow in Pittsburgh, off day Tuesday, and then Zach Duke on Wednesday. Called strike, 2-1. You ready for another opening day tomorrow? We'll be in Pittsburgh, and we'll have it for you right here on WGN Sports.
Probably see the biggest crowd we've ever seen at PNC Park in Pittsburgh on opening day. Not so sure what it'll look like on Wednesday, but we'll enjoy opening day.
High blast foul by Johnson. Pirates are leading at Florida 4-0. there in the 5th. Backey coming back on a 2-2 and a bouncer hit to third. It's foul.
Oh, we got a second. Let's take a look at the rest of the Astros defensively. Carlos Lee out there in left field. Michael Bourne in center. Hunter Pence in right. Good speed in center and right. Jeff Blum, Miguel Tejada, Tomas Perez at second base. Darren Erstad over at first for Berkman today. J.R. Tolles, the youngster behind the plate once again. And we've talked about Brandon Backey, the right-hander, on the mound for the Houston Astros today.
The bench is short. Again, Berkman could possibly pinch hit. He has a neck injury. Ty Wigginton had an x-ray on his left thumb, and they found a fracture in the thumb. We probably wouldn't see him today. So they're really down as Johnson takes a call third to a couple of guys on their bench other than the backup catcher, Brad Ausmus. Leadoff man guest, Derrek Lee.
Number 25, Derrek Lee.
I couldn't resist asking Derrek Lee about the NCAA tournament. You knew he was avidly watching those tournament games leading up to the final on Monday.
That should be a pretty good ball game. Yeah, at least on paper.
I have to say I agree with Derek. I think both teams are very, very good, but Memphis maybe just a little more athletic. Boy, Derrek Lee has doubled his home run output from last April already this season. Deep drive to just to the right of straightaway center field. Had one home run the entire month of April last year. He's got 2 already in 4 ball games this year.
That's high. One and 2 the count. Carlos Zambrano got out of the top of the inning with no damage. Second and third, no outs. And a big strikeout and then that double play. Deep to center. Bourne tracking over his head. Derrek Lee continues his streak. And he also continues to hit to all fields. You go back to his last at bat on Friday. That's 6 hits in his last 6 at bats.
And you really have to love the approach, Len. A lot of his base hits in the early going have come to the opposite field or straightaway center. This time a rocket line drive over the head of Michael Bourne in center field. Well, perhaps with the wind we had here yesterday, that one gets up off the ivy, maybe even into the basket. The wind was blowing straight out to center yesterday. Might have knocked that ball down just a little bit today.
I loved the line after the game. Derek went 4 for 4, and he was at the plate with a chance for his 5th hit and possibly the cycle. And Reed Johnson was caught stealing to end the inning. He said, next time I'm up there and I'm 4 for 4, you better be safe.
Well, that is definitely something to consider. I mean, we've all seen a player get red hot at the plate when the ball looks as big as a beach ball, just lining base hits all over the ballpark. And certainly when you have a player under those conditions, you don't want to run yourself out of an inning. I mean, Derek was saying it facetiously, but there's some merit to that as well.
You see all the water bottles behind Carlos Zambrano.
99 bottles of water on the wall. 99 bottles of water.
Just a little reminder, Cubs athletic trainers in the foreground, Mark O'Neill and Ed Halby. And it also goes back to what you alluded to earlier. It's not just what he drinks, it's what he doesn't drink that's very important as well. We've learned a lot about hydration and dehydration. Certain things can really negate all that water very quickly.
You know, something to keep in mind for you young athletes out there as well. A lot of the energy drinks that are on the market now probably do a lot more harm than good. You speak with your athletic trainers or your family doctor and make sure you're not doing anything that's negatively affecting your performance.
Can't go wrong with that. Three and one. Kosuke on deck. How much water would you drink on a typical day?
Well, it certainly depends on the conditions. You know, late in the season, a lot of humidity, high temperatures. You could go through a lot of water weight. It wasn't unusual to lose 8 or 10 pounds over the course of a ball game, even drinking as much water as you could possibly choke down.
Well, Ramos off to a 2 for 16 start, but he's now walked 5 times. Kosuke Fukudome finishing up his first week as a Cub.
Well, not too many guys get a standing ovation before their first at bat of the ball game, but the fans acknowledging what Fukudome has done already here in the early going.
All this happening with 2 outs. The double by Lee, the walk to Ramirez, the pitch to Fukudome, and he spins and misses.
And a lot of advanced scouts making notes right now. We've talked about it at length over this homestand. National League is going to try to catch up to Fukudome as quickly as possible. A swing and a miss at a first pitch changeup. See if that's a pattern that repeats itself over the next week or so.
Well, he did it all in game 2. Go ahead 2-run double. Earlier laid down a perfect bunt. That was on his own. Made a terrific catch out in right center. See how he rests the bat on his back shoulder until the pitcher's ready and holds it high over his head. Inside corner 1 and 2.
Borderline at best. A slider starts on the inside corner, maybe ends up off the plate inside, but they get the call from Brian Runge behind home plate. Fukudome just with a quick look back to Brian Runge. Go right back to work.
A 1-2 pitch, and he was a little late on that fastball. But Kosuke might have been asking if that would have been a called strike. Nothing.
Bud Light is brewed to give you everything you want in a beer. Never-ending refreshment, superior drinkability, and now the ability to breathe fire.
Allow me.
Wow.
Do you have a cat?
The ability to breathe fire no longer available in Bud Light. The endless refreshment, however, remains.
Bud Light keeps it coming. I'm really sorry.
All hail the Buffet Explorer, the Lewis and Clark of pizza. May your discoveries be grand and your rewards saucy. Cece's Pizza, Pasta Salad, and Dessert Buffet for an unbelievably low price.
See you tomorrow, Steve.
Do not let her get gum. You know
That's Tony Stewart.
Tony, get the camera.
I've got the camera. Oh, Tony, he's a huge fan. Ready?
Tony, you okay?
Armor All wash, wipes, and tire shines. Go ahead, stare. And for even better defense against UV rays, try new and improved Armor All Protectant.
Today, I plan on not freaking out about my wireless bill. I plan on saying whatever when my daughter talks for hours. Yeah, I plan on being totally down with calling Denver in the middle of the afternoon. Huh? Hollering at my boys, kicking it with three-way calling. I plan on grabbing my celly and getting my...
Dad!
Oh, sorry. Okay.
America's most reliable network introduces a plan with truly unlimited calling. Talk as much as you want with anyone in the U.S. for one flat rate. And now buy a text-friendly Envy Your Music playing chocolate for just $79.99. Verizon Wireless.
Corner Gas, tonight at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Let's meet today's Walgreens celebrity bat kids. 11-year-old Adam Whitlow from Valparaiso, Indiana, and Erica Need, 13 from Wilmette. Having a great day at Wrigley Field thanks to Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. Go to WGNradio.com for more info on how Your kids can become our Walgreens Celebrity Bat Kids at a future game. Carlos Zambrano in his second inning of work facing Miguel Tejada. That pitch was in and almost hit the Astros shortstop. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, with Zambrano getting out of that first inning, his scoreless inning streak has reached 20 2/3. No runs allowed over his last 3 starts. If you go back to September 23rd of 2007 against the Pirates. And according to Elias, he's the first Cubs pitcher to have 3 straight scoreless starts since Ken Holtzman did it in '68 and '69. The last Cubs pitcher to go 4 straight starts without giving up a run, Bill Lee in 1938. His longest career scoreless inning streak, 22, back in 2004. So he's only an inning and a third away from that. Off the end of the bat foul.
Well, the fact that he was able to extend that streak in the first inning is just absolutely amazing. 2 of the fastest runners in the National League on base with nobody out, and able to strike out Darren Erstad, a very good contact hitter, and then got the fly ball to left field. Double play. Goose egg in the first for the Astros.
It's full on Tejada. Switch hitting Jeff Blum is next. Another switch hitter, Tomas Perez, after him. Pitch. A little dribbler up the first base line. That ball might, no, it's going to stay foul.
Well, Henry and Carlos doing the right thing. When the batter just stays in the batter's box, you let that ball roll as long as possible, hoping maybe it'll hit a pebble and jump back into fair territory, but that time it died on the wrong side of the line.
Ready for another 3-2 pitch. Tapper to Zambrano. And he gets the out. Want to see a Cubs game from the front row at Wrigley Field? Now you can. Visit Cubs.com and click on the CBOE front row seats auction to bid on tickets in the front row behind home plate and along the first base line for the April 15th through May 1st games. Don't miss your chance. Go to Cubs.com and check out the CBOE front row seats auction today. Best seat in the house, and you can see a lot more of the players. You know, I haven't asked the Cubs infielders, but I know in the past players had complained a little bit about the crown in that it took away the bricks behind home plate. And if a lot of fans were wearing white behind the plate, it could cause some problems. Seeing line drives off the bat. So I'm sure that the infielders appreciate the flat field as well.
Yeah, I haven't heard any complaints whatsoever. I mean, a lot of talk about how fast the infield is and how the ball scoots through the outfield a lot quicker than it used to. But I think that's something that will remedy itself as the season progresses. The grass comes in a little more, gets a little thicker. We haven't seen nearly as many bad hops, not only during the course of ball games, but when we come out here early to watch the teams take their fungo practice and ground balls hit to the infielders. Not nearly as many bad hops as we've seen in the past.
One-two pitch to Blum. What a beauty that was. 69 on the breaking ball, and he had Blum fooled completely. You make a major league hitter take this sort of swing. It's quite a pitch.
Especially in a 2-strike count where you're trying to be a little more defensive, wait a little longer, see the ball, and then react to it. And Blum still can't hold back on that off-speed breaking ball. That is going to be a great pitch for Carlos this year. Showing a lot of confidence in it early, not afraid to throw it in any count.
In there on Perez. Well, I'm sure Astros skipper Cecil Cooper has asked his pitchers to be ready to pinch run, to pinch hit. Chris Sampson, former position player, could be called on early in the ball game with that potentially short bench.
So your hands are really tied as to some of the moves you might not be able to make because of the injuries that they have to some of those guys on the bench today. So I'm sure the pitchers are wearing their cleats in the dugout today.
Well, we wondered what was going on with Roy Oswalt in the 6th yesterday. Stayed in the ball game. I guess felt something in his right bicep, but he was able to remain in, and the Cubs really knocked him around. He's given up double digits in hits in each of his first 2 starts.
And almost as shocking, the fact that he did not strike out a Cubs batter yesterday. His first start against the Cubs in his career, he didn't strike out a batter.
Hook to right for Perez. First official at bat, and he's 1 for 1 on the year.
Well, Tomas Perez has always been a good pull hitter from the left side of the plate. Very quick on pitches from the middle of the plate in. That time just kind of reaches out, hooks that ball back to right field. Makes a big turn at first base, but Fukudome got over there in a hurry to corral that baseball and make sure that Perez stops at first.
J.R. Tolles back in the starting lineup. Brian Ausmus caught Oswalt yesterday. Tolles hit a 2-run homer off Rich Hill in game 1. That was in his second plate appearance. In his first, he was hit by a pitch and ended up doing a handstand at the plate.
Talk all the time about how multi-skilled catchers are, even getting hit by a pitch. Look at this. I thought he was going to run all the way down to first base on his hands.
Travels in the circus in the winter. (0-2) and a fly to left. Should be no problem for Soriano. 3 hits, no runs for the Astros through 2. DeRosa, Tario, and Blanco will be up for the first time when we come back.
The Superstation is America's home for baseball. The Pirates and Cubs are swinging lumber in the Steel City. Cubs, Pirates, Monday at 1:30 on Superstation WGN. It's great to be home.
Digital TV has better picture, better sound, more channels. But in 2009, when broadcast TV goes all digital, will you lose your signal? Go to dtvanswers.com or call this number to learn about TV's switch to digital.
Good boy. Yeesh. Though very rare, some wild animals can be trained. Unlike Mountain Dew, which can never be trained.
All hail the Buffet Explorer, the Lewis and Clark of pizza. May your discoveries be grand and your rewards saucy. Cece's Pizza, Pasta, Salad, and Dessert Buffet for an unbelievably low price.
There's trouble in Twindon. Good, because I never want to see your ugly face again. Then don't look in the mirror. And somebody's going to have a cow. Got milk? I'm sister.
Tomorrow at 5 Eastern.
The Final Four take on the Bee Gees.
I knew nothing about the Bee Gees. Nothing.
And these two are doing the same song. But only one does it right.
Horrible. Everything about that was horrible.
American Idol Rewind.
Tonight at 8 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Well, a great look at downtown Chicago. Plan your next corporate function or family gathering in the comfort of the Wrigley Field Mezzanine Suites, presented by Nuveen Investments. Suites are available now for games during the season. Be sure to ask about the April and May incentives. To book your suite or for more info, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-Cubs. Ball one on Mark DeRosa as we begin the last of the second. Brandon Backey had elbow reconstruction in September of '06. Just over a full calendar year between appearances as DeRosa greets him with a single in the left.
Now, we mentioned Backey had 5 starts at the end of the season last year. Actually did very well, 3-1 with an ERA of 3.77. And as I mentioned in his previous opening day assignments, he's been the 4th starter in this Astros rotation, but this year second behind only Roy Oswalt. Expecting big things out of Backey this year.
Well, he has been excellent in the postseason. 1-0 with a .295 in 7 career playoff games. 7 or more shutout innings as a starter twice. He's from Galveston, Texas. I have not been to Galveston, but I don't think it's too far from Houston. And he went to Galveston Community College. And he's low and outside. Our director Skip Ellison, a big music fan, referring to the Glenn Campbell song Galveston.
Yeah, absolutely. Glenn Campbell picked some unusual cities to write songs about. You know, the Wichita lineman, Galveston. I guess it's easy to write a song about Chicago or New York or LA. You got to really work to write a song about Galveston.
Don't know if he wrote about Baton Rouge. That's where Brian Terrio's from. The pitch too high, and it's now 2-1. Terrio keeps moving around the lineup. He's hitting 7th, so this is game 6. He's hit at 4 different spots.
Well, and it's a good hit and run situation. I mean, we talked a little bit about it with the Astros lineup, that they like to manufacture runs with the bottom of the guys in the order. And the way the Cubs are configured here today, you have to figure that after Fukudome, it would be an opportunity for Lou to push some buttons, get some runners in motion here. Good combination. Terrio handles the bat well. DeRosa, an average runner over there at first base, but on a hit and run, you're dependent on the hitter to protect the runner.
Pregnant pause by Backey, and it's low and outside. 3-1. Henry Blanco's on deck. Henry in there for Giovanni Soto for the first time.
And because Terrio handles the bat as well as he does, I think DeRosa will be on the move on this 3-1 pitch right here. Once again, it's on the hitter. If the ball's out of the strike zone, you take it for ball 4. If it's in the strike zone, you have to protect that runner if he does go. He was on the move. Terrio with an inside out swing, trying to shoot that ball through the huge hole on the right side.
Well, the Cubs are trying to get their first run across the plate with Big Z on the mound. They couldn't get anything going against Ben Sheets on opening day. DeRosa runs again, and a ground ball to third. Safe. Both places. Really surprised Jeff Blum threw the ball to second base. He could not get DeRosa, and there was no chance at that point to get Terrio. Jeff Blum looks a little confused.
A bad decision that time by a veteran utility player. Slow hit ball. The runner was on the move. You have to know you're not going to have a chance to get that runner at second. Normally you go across the diamond, take the sure out. Tomas Perez very late getting to second base. He was on a dead run as he got to the bag right there. Tried to time his steps and make the play, but second base umpire Charlie Relaford said he was off the bag. DeRosa safe at second. Theriot safe at first.
It's a fielder's choice. And the Cubs are in business. A strike on Henry Blanco. Giovanni Soto was out working today on his throwing. I guess he's been really using his arm and his upper body a little bit too much. So working on the footwork aspect from behind the plate.
That's a common thing for a young player, especially when you have a strong throwing arm. You like to rely on it a little bit too much, but at this level, we're talking about tenths of a second making the difference in safe and out down there at second base. And if you can get your feet and your legs involved, it takes a lot of stress and strain off of your throwing arm.
Base hit into right. DeRosa held by Mike Quade. They are loaded up for Carlos.
Nice piece of hitting by Henry Blanco. A lot of hits on that right side of the field. Takes that slider on the outside corner and shoots it into right field. Ball was hit pretty hard, and Hunter Pence throws pretty good out there in right field. No sense taking a chance sending DeRosa home. He got the bases loaded for the pitcher Carlos Zambrano, and then the top of the order.
So Zambrano can control his own fate, so to speak, by giving his team the lead as they try to give him some run support. The Astros have the corner men in. They're in double play depth up the middle. It'll go 4, 6, 3. No RBI for Zambrano, but the Cubs for the first time this year have scored first. And it's 1-0 with DeRosa crossing the plate. Hey, have you checked out our WGN baseball blog this season? If not, you're missing out. Go to WGNTV.com, click on the Cubs link, and look for Len and Bob's baseball blog. I have a post on what we've learned this week. Derrek Lee's NCAA tournament predictions and game notes as well. Make WGNTV.com your homepage today. Theriot's at third. In a 1-0 game, and a strike on Soriano. Missed the curveball, 2 strikes. Move on to Jesus, special assistant to the manager, chatting with Mark DeRosa. And Soriano strikes out. The Cubs get 1 and lead 1-0.
Open this can of peanuts for me?
I'd like a peanut.
Corner Gas, tonight at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Introducing Yo Plus, a new yogurt with special cultures and fiber that naturally help regulate your digestion. With the delicious Yoplait taste. Life's better on the plus side. Try it for 10 days and feel the difference.
And that's what it's like to be a spy.
Whoa.
Hey, kids.
Hi.
I'm Sarah's father. Not a spy or anything. My wife and I just own the Dairy Queen up the road, and I thought I'd make you all blizzards today.
Yeah!
He's making blizzards! How do you go on after that?
It's a tough act to follow. The new Tin Roof Brownie Blizzard. Chocolatey covered peanuts and chewy brownie pieces.
The Final Four take on the Bee Gees.
I knew nothing about the Bee Gees. Nothing.
And these two are doing the same song. But only one does it right.
Horrible. Everything about that was horrible.
American Idol Rewind.
Tonight at 8 Eastern on Superstation WGN. On the next Scrubs, JD's into romance.
Let's get that shirt off.
The janitor's into art.
You usually have to go to a van convention to see this quality.
And Turk's into being a dad.
Look who I brought to see her mama.
Somebody else's child?
Somebody just stole a baby.
Next Scrubs, tonight at 11 Eastern.
Third inning, and the Cubs lead the Houston Astros 1-0. A rubber game of this weekend series. Well, our good friends, the Bud Light Real Men of Genius, are in the booth with us. Pete Stacker and David Bickler. Hi, guys. What's going on? How you doing, David?
Very good. Thank you. Thanks.
And the voice of God.
Great to be here again, as usual.
So you were on the field before the game.
Yeah.
And you got this crowd revved up a little bit, Pete.
Well, especially the little bit about Wrigley Field that we did. We thought people would really enjoy that.
Fukudome will come in, and a ball kicks by him. Brandon Backey will end up sliding into second base, but probably a double as the throw gets past. So a runner at second with no outs. A little different than being in the studio and recording, right?
A little.
But you guys don't get nervous, do you? You've done this before.
No, throwing the first pitch on now, that's nerve-wracking. But doing the Real Men of Genius live for the people, that's okay. We're good with that.
Yeah, we have a good time, and Bud Light's been good to us. We've been all over the country and really enjoyed it.
Well, Peter, you were a little frustrated with your first pitch today. It bounced up there to the catcher, but hey.
Well, I'm going to the Brentley Clinic shortly. I'm going to sign up for how to get it across the plate.
See, I gave you an excuse. It's an 0-2 count.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give him anything go on.
Yeah,
I want to go to the next guy.
Bounce that breaking ball, and yeah, there you go.
Michael Bourne bounces to Mark DeRosa.
My family was up in the stands, so they rode me like a rented car as soon as I got up there.
Yeah. So here we go.
There we are. Oh, no, you guys are going to show it again. Thank you.
Give us a scouting report,
No,
Bob.
really, thank you.
It bounced into the strike zone. Yeah. That's not bad.
Too funny. It's always good to come up after a 12-year-old kid who smokes one on the outside corner. That's it. And then my family told me later on the kid in front of you that got it across the plate was 6 years old.
Infield coming in a little bit as Hunter Pence fouls it back. Runner at third with one out. Or with the Bud Light Real Men of Genius.
Yep.
Pete, I'm hearing your voice all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Real uplifting stuff. I heard you narrate a documentary on the Manson family.
Yeah,
that had to make you
they
feel
give me
really
the happy
good.
stuff. I asked them, I said, after about 6 or 7 killers, can I please have something nice? So they gave me Eric Estrada.
Okay. Not that nice.
David, you do any rock and roll in between commercial gigs?
Yeah, sure. I play. I get around playing with some local guys and stuff, and have some fun doing that, singing the choir.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's
Former
been 10
lead
years.
singer of Survivor.
Yeah.
1-1 the count on Hunter Pence. Backey started the inning with a bloop double that got by Fukudome. And that pitch is a little bit high.
This is our 10th year with Bud Light.
10 years.
10 years.
And how many commercials?
Over 225. And that's not counting the custom things that we do like at Wrigley Field here like we did today. So
there's hundreds of those too.
I'm sure everybody you run into has an idea for the next one, right? Oh, you should write a commercial about this guy or that guy.
And we have to go screaming, running in the other direction.
Don't tell me.
Can't hear you. But yeah, it's kind of a legal thing there. But yeah, lots of people have. There's as many ideas as there are jobs, and people.
High in the air, Kosuke with that very good arm. We'll see it back. He's going to test him. And he's going to stop about halfway up the line, and what a throw by Fukudome.
Man, Soriano on left, and then Fukudome on right, and both of them have cannons.
Boy, and both of them got in good fundamental fielding position. We talked about Soriano earlier. Fukudome also has all his momentum going toward the plate. Just a cannon-like throw on a hop to Henry Blanco. We talked about Brandon Backey was a position player the first 3 years of his professional career. He runs the bases well, but even he realized he was going to be dead meat at home plate, slams on the brakes, stays at third base.
That kind of looked like my throw, didn't it, guys?
Just a little bit. Buried in the dirt. All right, you guys got a fun one here?
Yeah, we got a real quick one for you. Sure. This is one of the original ones, one of the original 5. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Parking Attendant Flashlight Waver.
Mr. Parking Attendant Flashlight Waver.
Leaving the security of your 2x2-foot heated hut, you wave me in and light the way.
Show me the way now.
Defying physics and most insurance policies, you wedge my midsize into the space of a compact.
Back it up, woo!
While you act like you could care less about my car, I know deep down inside, you don't.
It's just a car.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Tsar of the parked car. As long as there are extra sawbucks there that translate into easy out, we'll keep pulling her in.
We couldn't park without you.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Nicely done, gentlemen. Unfortunately, Darren Erstad with an RBI single to tie it at 1-1.
And his car is burning at the curb right now.
Nice swing by a veteran hitter right there. We've talked throughout the early part of this season how many RBIs there are to the opposite field, and Darren Erstad certainly realizes that as well as anybody.
So the scoreless streak is over for Carlos Zambrano, working with purpose here. He stormed back up the hill after strike 1 on Carlos Lee. So did that happen when you parked today? Did you go through that whole deal?
Yeah, I
just
did.
Talked about?
I basically did.
Okay.
He waved me in, and I don't know what's going to be there when I get back.
Nothing.
Nothing. An empty space. Story of my life. Just
What car, man?
sit down with a Bud Light and cry. I'm a man. I can do it.
The Astros have tied it here in the 3rd inning on a 2-out single by Erstad, who runs. Here's the throw, and he will be thrown out. Pete Stacker and David Bickler, the Bud Light Real Men of Genius. Always a pleasure, guys.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Pleasure.
Endless refreshment from start to finish. Bud Light keeps it coming.
Do you know what time it is?
Of course I know what time it is. I know. I understand, okay?
Your taxes are due in less than 2 weeks.
Look, I don't need the pressure.
Fortunately, there's the federal free edition at TurboTax.com.
I'll call you then. Bye.
Devin?
Cindy, it's been a long time.
Yeah, I'll say. You've got the whole Verizon Wireless network. Mr. Fear of Commitment. That's weird.
Well, they came with my pay-as-you-go plan, so I only pay for them when I use them.
So you haven't changed at all?
Nope.
Verizon Wireless pay-as-you-go. Forget long-term contracts. Just pay on the days you use your phone. That's reliability on demand at select retailers and Verizon Wireless.
The Superstation is America's home for baseball.
2008 Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports is brought to you by Bud Light. Endless refreshment from start to finish. Bud Light keeps it coming.
Well, the Astros tied it with a run in the top of the 3rd, ending Carlos Zambrano's scoreless inning streak at 22 1/3. So that is a new career high. And we're back to even. You ever have those days where you just can't do the math? You get in the 19 2/3 plus 2 2/3. It took me 10 minutes just to figure out, is it 21 and something or 22?
Those fractions can be tough. Yeah. I'll tell you, if Carlos continues to throw the ball the way he did in game number 1 and here again today, he's going to put up a lot of zeros this year. Stuff is electric in the early going.
Fouled away by Reed Johnson. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You know, that it was funny. Brandon Backey's little bloop double down the right field line found apparently a soft spot out there in right field. You know, we haven't seen Fukudome overrun anything going back to the first day of spring camp. So might have hit a little soft spot out there in right field. Overran the ball just enough to allow Backey to advance to second base. If you keep him at first, he probably escaped that inning.
Another one hit foul by Reed Johnson.
And just a little floater off the bat of Brandon Backey, and when that ball hits the turf, it kind of takes a skip back to Fukudome's right. Tries to make the backhanded play, but unfortunately overruns it a little bit. It wasn't an error on the play, just an odd hop off the turf out there in right field.
Didn't mean to, and Reed fouled it back. He's got a little pop in his bat. His last full season with 2006 with Toronto, and he slugged .479 that year. And he's 5'10", 180.
Stands right on top of the plate, chokes up about an inch or so on that bat, and is lightning quick on pitches on the inner half of the plate. I mean, you have to be quick if you're going to stand that close to the dish.
He pops it up. And his counterpart, Michael Bourne, will make the grab out in center. Derrek Lee bats with 1 out and nobody on. Hey, the minor league season is underway. Sean Gallagher got the win in game 1 yesterday. The 2 AAA affiliates of the Cubs and Astros are matching up this weekend as well. The Iowa Cubs won game 1 4-3 and had an 8-3 lead in game 2. But the Round Rock Express scored 9 in the 7th for a 16-8 win. Andres Torres got on 5 times. Eric Patterson with his first home run. Jeff Samardzija got the victory for AA Tennessee. So the Smokies off to a 2-1 start. Donnie Veal scheduled to start today in Birmingham. And left fielder Dylan Johnston of the Peoria Chiefs with game-tying 2-run home runs in the 8th and the 9th. So the Chiefs with a couple of comebacks, but Burlington won 5-4 in 11 innings. So Ryan Sandberg's club off to a 1-2 start.
Jeff Samardzija worked 5 innings in his ball game, gave up only 3 base hits, 1 earned run, struck out a batter, walked a couple. Jake Fox also homered for the AAA Cubs.
I think Derek liked that one. 2-2. You rarely see Derek get upset, but he did not like that call by Brian Runge. Oof.
Now keep in mind at home, as always, it's not where the catcher catches the ball, it's where the pitch crosses the front of home plate. And on that breaking ball, in the estimation of Brian Runge, it was in the zone.
Power deep to center. Bourne back. He will have enough room to make the catch. Sounded good off the bat. So Derek's streak of 6 straight hits comes to an end. But he still hit it hard.
Boy, and once again, timing is everything. You hit this same ball yesterday. It's about halfway up the bleachers in center field, but the wind blowing straight in from right center field and rather briskly right now. I think it knocked that one down. Boy, don't change a thing. Squaring that ball up with regularity.
And he has used every field over the last 2 days. Perfect spot for Aramis.
There is absolutely no justice in this game. Derrek Lee hits a ball that probably would have gone 420 feet on a non-windy day here at Wrigley, and Aramis Ramirez cues one off the end of the bat that drops in for a base hit. Yeah, even Derrek Lee laughing about it on the bench over there. Right off the end of the bat for Ramirez, but hits it in a good spot in front of the outfielders and beyond second baseman Tomas Perez.
And maybe that'll be the knock that gets Aramis going. Now 3 for 17. He's been on both times, a walk and a single. And the pitch to Kosuke is a strike. He struck out swinging his first time. Bringing his average all the way down to 471. On H2O, baby. Bourne jumps and just got it. That ball took off the bat of Kosuke Fukudome. Cubs leave 1. It's 1-1 after 3.
Introducing Yo Plus, a new yogurt with special cultures and fiber that naturally help regulate your digestion. With the delicious Yoplait taste. Life's better on the plus side. Try it for 10 days and feel the difference.
Charcoal invites you to slow down with new KC Masterpiece Sweet and Tangy Barbecue Sauce.
Tired of another sleepless night? Ambient CR is offering the 7-night invite. Call or visit 7freecr.com for your free 7-night trial offer of the only sleep aid with 2 layers to help you fall asleep and stay asleep. Until you know how Ambient CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Sleepwalking and eating or driving while not fully awake with amnesia for the event have been reported. In rare cases, sleep aids may cause severe allergic reactions, such as swelling of your tongue or throat or shortness of breath. If you experience any of these behaviors or reactions, contact your doctor immediately. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic and can be taken for as long as your prescriber recommends. However, like most sleep aids, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. Get your free Ambient CR 7-night trial offer now. Just call or visit 7freecr.com.
1-1 in the rubber match. Cubs are 2-3 on the year. The Astros come in at 2-4. 0-1 on Carlos Lee. Flied into a double play. Went 7-2 as Michael Bourne was nailed at the plate to end the first inning. Happy 55th birthday to big Cub fan Cheryl Martinez of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Drilled to left, base hit.
Good baseball country down there in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Spent a summer playing for the Cedar Rapids Giants back in, 1977. They took real good care of us. I believe I've told the story in the past about eating sweet corn. They'd bring us bags of sweet corn to the ballpark, and we lived on that stuff. Minor league salaries weren't quite what they are today.
Tejada's 0 for 1. Welcome to Stanley Routh. Lifelong resident of Chicago, big Cub fan, 83 years old, here at the ballpark for the first time. Good day to be here, Stanley.
Yes, indeed. What took you so long?
Well, I guess we take it as a compliment. Stanley enjoyed watching so much at home.
I'll buy that.
Good. You're probably the only one who will.
Boy, sad day in baseball history today, Len. Back in 1973, the first time a designated hitter was used in a ball game. Ron Blomberg from the New York Yankees.
Terrio will take the short play at first. He thought about second. Time for our AT&T text poll question as we wrap up this opening homestand. Who do you think has had the best start for the Cubs? Text your answer to 97999. A for Kosuke Fukudome, B for Derrek Lee, C for Kerry Wood with a couple of saves, or D, Ryan Dempster. Excellent first start for Ryan. Text your response to 97999. Results coming up a little bit later on. Poll is brought to you by the new AT&T. See what's new at the new AT&T. Visit att.com for details. I know we've talked about the DH before, but just revisit it. You said a sad day for baseball. I agree.
I think it just changed the game dramatically. In so many ways, it would take us a whole day to outline them all, but you know, we bemoan the loss of multi-talented players, 5 tool players. It seems like everybody does 1 or 2 things well, but you rarely see a guy who does everything well on a field. I just don't like the idea of a baseball player who doesn't even require a glove. But I'm sure Harold Baines and Frank Thomas and David Ortiz and many others would argue that point. It's extended some careers of great hitters who are on their way to the Hall of Fame, but I just think it's changed the game, and not for the better.
Pop up by Blum. Terrio with a catch. And I guess the counter to what you said about all those guys is that even Paul Molitor, they were good enough to play. You know, they would have found a position for those guys if they had to. David Ortiz would play first base every day if, in fact, he had to. But I'm with you. And you know, one of the things for Carlos Zambrano, I just can never imagine him pitching in the American League.
It would be hard to envision that. Even from a managerial standpoint, you know, my brief foray into the American League in '89 with the Toronto Blue Jays, if you were not in the original 9 of the starting lineup, you probably weren't going to get into the ball game unless somebody got hurt. The National League, we've talked about it at length already this season, how important your bench players are, how you have to know how to maneuver your lineup and use the double switch. I know it's not brain surgery. Managers can figure it out, but in the American League, you know, your starting pitcher is still throwing effectively, even though he's given up 6 or 7 runs in 5 innings. You leave him out there. There's no decision to make because his spot in the order is coming up, and you may need to pinch hit, get him out of the ball game. It's just too drastic of change to the game by instituting the designated hitter.
Paris taking all the way. Strike 1, 2 and 1. I'm looking at your career splits. You were a much better hitter when you played in the field. You didn't bat a lot in the DH spot, but you struggled in that spot.
I struggled in a lot of spots.
No, you didn't.
But I'll tell you, DH, it was a tough adjustment. I mean, a lot of guys were much better suited than I was to be a designated hitter, but you know, trying to keep yourself loose between at bats, trying to stay involved in the ball game, the rhythm and flow of the game, and it was just a very, very tough thing for me to do. Some guys are very good at it and have found a routine that will allow them to stay loose and stay focused and continue to put up good at bats even late into a ball game. For other guys, it is tough.
2-2 the count on Tomas Perez. The pitch struck him out. Well, your best defensive position offensively was left field. You hit 500. 1 for 2.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Aquafina has a 7-step purification process that removes the stuff you find in other waters. Here's how. We filter it once. Then we filter it again. Then we purify it. And filter it again. And filter it again. And filter it again. And then purify it again. So all you taste is pure water. Aquafina. Purity guaranteed.
Well, I was shopping for a new car. Which one's me? A cool convertible or an SUV? Too bad I didn't know my credit was whack, cause now I'm driving off the lot in a used subcompact. F-R-E-E, that spells free. Creditreport.com, baby. Saw their ads on my TV. Thought about going but was too lazy. Now instead of looking fly and rolling fat, my legs are sticking to the vinyl and my posse's getting laughed at. F-R-E-E, that spells free. Creditreport.com, baby. Offer applies with enrollment and triple advantage.
I'm selling corner gas.
This is terrible. It's awful. I'm gonna be sick to my stomach.
I'm going back to Toronto. I'm gonna open up a restaurant there.
What? When?
Today.
You're opening a restaurant today?
No, I'm leaving today.
All things come to an end.
Goodbye, you jackass.
Corner Gas. Tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
Now our upcoming WGN baseball schedule in high definition, sponsored by Comcast. Again, the Pirates home opener will be tomorrow, and we'll be there, Cubs and the Bucks, 12:30 Central Time. Also coming up on Thursday at 6, Twins and the Sox, Wednesday night on WCIU, all in high definition, sponsored by Comcast. Bottom 4, DeRosa scored the only run to this point for the Cubs. He scored from third on a 4-6-3 double play ball off the bat of Carlos Zambrano. White Sox are in Detroit tonight. Mark Burley, Justin Verlander. The Tigers 0-5. Shattered his bat. Bourne dropped it. Had it right in his glove. I don't know if he overran it and it hit the heel, but it popped out. And it's an error on Bourne.
You know, we talked a lot about the wind here at Wrigley Field today, blowing in from right center field. That helped knock that ball down. Also the sun. Just a few scattered clouds up there. Bourne coming in. You can see from his shadow looking right up into the sun and just clanks that ball off the heel of the glove. It always kills me when a player, battles the sun like that and misses the ball. First thing Michael Bourne did was look back up. I don't know if he thought the sun was going to move after he missed the ball or what. It's still up there. Well, you see that happen all the time. A guy struggles with the ball out there in the outfield. He'll make the catch or drop the ball and then look back up into the sun again.
Shaking his head. Looks in his glove. It's Ontario batting for the second time with a runner at first and no outs. That's what he was looking at.
And it's still there.
He was looking directly at it because as you see the shadows from our vantage point, I mean, the sun is basically right behind home plate.
And the height of the baseball will be a determining factor as well. Sometimes the batter will pop it up high enough that it gets up above the sun. You can shield it with your glove. Other times it'll stay below the sun, but occasionally you'll put one right up there in an arc where the position player looks directly into the sun the entire time and just can't get a beat on the ball.
Boy, above the sun, that's pretty high.
That's a high fly ball. I meant above the line of the sun as the outfielder's looking up. We'd still be waiting for that one to come down, wouldn't we?
Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's like your 400-foot center field fence. Yeah.
Right. Well, I got to get this in. I was looking at your career splits, and with Ryan Theriot moving all over the lineup, you actually had a start in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, at St. Louis of all places, back when Whitey Herzog had that track team, and we were struggling early in the part of the season, and I had a decent on-base percentage out of the chute, so Frank plugged me into the leadoff spot in the lineup. Frank Robinson, our manager at the time. I kind of liked that. Made me feel like Vince Coleman for a day.
Do you remember what you did that day?
No.
You did have one career home run in 8 plate appearances batting first, but it could have been that you got into the game late in the 1 spot.
I couldn't tell you.
I think that was a broken bat. Ontario will get a new one. Well, there's probably a Giants fan out there somewhere who does remember. A lot of times fans remember those quirks better than the players who actually performed in those games.
Well, players have a tendency, I mean, with some exceptions, there are a lot of guys out there who can remember every pitch they ever threw, every pitch that was ever thrown to them. But most guys, once a day is done, you move on to the next day, you forget about it, and unless it's a spectacular day or a spectacularly horrible day, you usually don't remember the day-to-day grind of a season.
I'm always amazed by golfers. Swing and a miss by Terrio. Had a chance to cover a couple of golf tournaments. The guy walks into the tent and he goes through every shot of his round. Pretty amazing.
Terrio chasing a slider out of the strike zone, down low and away, not able to make contact and move DeRosa to second base in some manner.
Popped foul by Blanco. I would walk in the tent and just say I shot a 65 on the front and a 70 on the back.
You don't want to recall all those shots.
Where's the beer tent? Nice to talk to you. I ran out of balls on the 14th.
Yeah. Started using the ones with the stripe around them. It said range on them.
A fly to left field. Carlos Lee over toward the line, and he makes the catch. So it's up to Zambrano. 12 career home runs for Carlos.
Well, we know
4 of those 12 against Houston.
I'm sorry, Len. We know he's got good opposite field power as well. We've seen him drive the ball into those bleachers in left field. That would seem to be what's called for today if you're going to get one out of here.
The kick and the pitch blocked by the catcher Tolles. Ken Griffey Jr. with career homer number 594 for the Reds. They are pounding the Phillies 8-1 in the 7th. Frank Thomas with number 515 for the Toronto Blue Jays, who lead the Red Sox 7-3 also in the 7th. Have the Red Sox been home yet? I don't think they have. Because they were in Oakland when they came back from Japan. The Red Sox went in at 3-3.
Some of those players are probably just now getting over the jet lag from that trip over to Japan.
Zambrano strikes out to end the 4th inning. It's 1-1.
Introducing Yo Plus, a new yogurt with special cultures and fiber that naturally help regulate your digestion. With the delicious Yoplait taste. Life's better on the plus side. Try it for 10 days and feel the difference.
See you tomorrow, Steve.
Do not let her get gum. You know it's Tony Stewart.
Tony, get the camera.
I've got the camera. Oh, Tony, he's a huge fan. Ready?
Tony, you okay?
Armor All wash, wipes, and tire shines. Go ahead, stare. And for even better defense against UV rays, try new and improved Armor All Protectant.
I'll call you then.
Devin?
Cindy, it's been a long time.
Yeah, I'll say. You've got the whole Verizon Wireless network. Mr. Fear of Commitment. weird.
Well, they came with my pay-as-you-go plan, so I only pay for them when I use them.
So you haven't changed at all?
Nope.
Verizon Wireless pay-as-you-go. Forget long-term contracts. Just pay on the days you use your phone. That's reliability on demand at select retailers and Verizon Wireless.
The Final Four take on the Bee Gees.
I knew nothing about the Bee Gees. Nothing.
And these two are doing the same song. But only one does it right.
Horrible. Everything about that was horrible.
You're horrible.
Plus, exclusive interviews.
If I had gone home, I was going to kick Josh right there on national television.
American Idol Rewind.
Tonight at 8 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Cool and sunny at Wrigley Field. 1 ball, no strikes on Astros catcher J.R. Tolles. Been a struggle for the Astros on the road. Last year, 31-50. Their lowest road winning percentage since 1991. So they're finishing up their first trip. And they'll open up Minute Maid Park tomorrow night against St. Louis. The Cardinals have pitched really well this week. I just stabbed myself with a Game Notes staple. Ow.
You got to be careful.
You ever done that? Ooh. Band-Aid, anyone? I didn't realize a pile of Game Notes could be that dangerous.
There's danger lurking everywhere in this job.
Brandon Backey on deck. Let's see, the Cardinals team ERA going in was in the low 2s. Tolles strikes out, number 4 for Zambrano. Cubs forever, celebrating 60 years of WGN TV and the Cubs. Big 2-hour special coming up Sunday, April 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. Central. A lot of great Cubs highlights, classic calls, and some fantastic new interviews. Also, Cubs Forever, the book, is available at triumphbooks.com and bookstores in the Chicago area. Check it out. The Dodgers leading in ERA at 184. The Cardinals at 220. And they're shutting out Washington in the 5th. Cardinals 2, Nationals nothing. Rick Ankiel already with 3 home runs this week. It is 3rd today.
Offensively, the New York Mets pacing the way in the National League with team batting average of .319 after 4 games of the season. San Diego Padres sitting in second with a .299 team batting average. Colorado Rockies bringing up the rear. Now, you know this won't be this way all summer, but they're hitting under .200 as a club after 5 games.
Broken back grounder right back to Big Z. 2 outs. We would love to hear from you via email. Once again, here in 2008, it's Len and Bob at AOL.com. Len and Bob at AOL.com. And we'll try to answer a couple of email questions and get your observations each and every broadcast throughout the season. Got a great matchup in Atlanta. 1-0 Braves over the Mets in the 7th. Santana and Smoltz.
Ooh.
Smoltz is out after 5. He gave up 2 hits, no runs. Santana has gone the distance to this point for the Mets. (2-0) on Bourne. Make it 2-1. I checked on the Red Sox schedule. They will have an off day tomorrow back home and then start a stretch of 20 in a row without an off day.
2 of those games are in Madrid, Spain, and 1 is in Stockholm, so it's a tough schedule.
And then back to Cleveland. Yeah, they do have a 4-game trip in the middle of this stretch. 2 in Cleveland, 2 in New York. Soriano comes over, and he has plenty of room to make the catch and plenty of time as well. 1-2-3 fifth for Zambrano. It's 1-1.
Tired of another sleepless night? For help falling asleep and staying asleep, there's 2-layer Ambien CR. The first layer helps you fall asleep fast, but unlike other sleep aids, there's a second layer that helps you stay asleep. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Sleepwalking and eating or driving while not fully awake with amnesia for the event have been reported. In rare cases, sleep aids may cause severe allergic reactions, such as swelling of your tongue or throat or shortness of breath. If you experience any of these behaviors or reactions, contact your doctor immediately. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic and can be taken for as long as your prescriber recommends. However, like most sleep aids, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. Ask your prescriber about Ambien CR for a good night's sleep from start to finish.
Taxi. Let's go.
You're doing great.
Take the tunnel.
Can you hear me now?
Good. Hush, honey. It's time. Tell him that he's got him. It's time. Go to the hospital. He knows how to get their mom stuff.
We test our network every day, so you get America's most reliable network, Verizon Wireless. And now buy a text-friendly Envy Your Music Playing chocolate for just $79.99.
Enough male bonding for one day?
Dude, nasty.
A clean, comfortable room for the lowest price of any national chain is coming right up.
Gross.
Motel 6. We'll leave the light on for you.
Funniest Pets and People, tonight at 7 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Now today's Honda Accord game summary. Visit your Honda dealer and test drive the all-new 268 horsepower Accord V6. RBI single for Darren Erstad, who's filling in for the injured Lance Berkman. Brandon Backey with a walk and 5 strikeouts on the mound. Carlos Zambrano's matched him. One and nothing on Alfonso. Soriano hit in the 2-hole in the first 2 games, both Cubs losses, and since he has hit first. Big defensive play for Soriano, as he nailed Michael Bourne at the plate in the first inning. So while he hasn't done anything offensively today, he has helped with his arm in left.
See, a DH can't do that. If you're having a bad day at the plate, you're having a bad day.
Excellent point. There's a drive to left, sending Carlos Lee back to the warning track, and it is out into the basket. And a home run. Call made by Kerwin Danley at third base. We've had some controversial ones the last couple of years on balls that have come back, but that's a home run. His first of the year, and it's 2-1.
Well, that's a good sign for a lot of different reasons, Len. Number one, Alfonso Soriano's seen a lot of breaking balls. That's a hanging curve ball on the outside part of the plate. He's going to have to start hitting that breaking ball in order to get teams to throw him the fastballs he's looking for. Our Southwest, how far did it fly? 357 feet, just above the basket in left field.
How many of those have we seen called in play?
Too many.
Too many is right.
Well, boy, when you find yourself getting a steady diet of breaking balls, especially with runners in scoring position, at some point, you've got to make that other team pay.
Johnson running hard, but he'll be gunned down by Blum.
And there's no question if Alfonso Soriano had his druthers and could request a pitch from the opposing pitcher, he'd want a fastball to hit. but he's not getting a lot of fastballs, at least not in the strike zone where he can do some damage. Good to see him take that hanging breaking ball and hit it out of here to left field.
Your last chance to vote. 97999. Our AT&T text question. Low and away on Lee. 1 ball, 1 strike. Derrek has not yet taken a walk. A little surprising. It's only been a week. 2-2.
I think some of that gets back to how you configure your lineup with Aramis Ramirez hitting behind Derrek Lee, and Ramirez has historically been the biggest run producer in this Cubs lineup. We talk about protection. The guy hitting behind you in the order, is he a guy that the other team would rather avoid? They might come right at you, and I think that's been the case in the early going for Derrek Lee. He's had some good pitches to hit, and he's hit them hard.
Backy ready for a 3-2 pitch. There's that first walk of 2008 for Lee. Who has walked and singled. He's 1 for 1. One thing to keep in mind for later on out of the Cubs bullpen, Lou mentioned before the ball game that Bob Howry probably won't be pitching in the 8th inning with a lead for a little bit. They're trying to get him going. Lou feels like he has a lot of other good options. Carlos Marmol's been pretty busy this week. We might see Kevin Hart again. John Lieber, Michael Wirtz. Cubs feel like they have a lot of good depth in that setup area, but Lou wants to get Bob Howry as much work as possible and maybe in some less stressful situations. Kevin Hart with his first major league win yesterday. Kind of got lost in the shuffle.
Kevin Hart's done a nice job in his 2 appearances. He's pitched a total of 3 innings and held the opponents to a 182 batting average.
I got home yesterday and I thought, you know what? I bet that was his first big league win. Sure enough. Lost in all the hoopla of Fukudome's day. Derrek Lee 4 for 4. Kerry Wood with a 1-2-3 night. Kevin Hart got the victory. Another foul by Aramis, still 2 strikes.
Well, he figures to get many more over the course of his career. There's some speculation within the organization that at some point in the future Kevin Hart might find his way into the rotation. He's got enough pitches. He's certainly got the right attitude. But he looks very comfortable filling that role that he has right now for Lou Piniella, and would be more than willing to do whatever Lou and Larry ask him to do.
Another 0-2 pitch and another foul as this battle continues. Mike Fontenot probably available to pinch hit. Had the back tightness a couple of days ago. Probably won't see him on defense unless an emergency situation arises. I guess Ryan Theriot tweaked one of his wrists on a check swing yesterday, but Ryan in the lineup and again batting 7th, and he's 0 for 2. Kosuke on deck. Cecil Cooper was the bench coach for Phil Garner, took over last year. And Garner was fired in late August. He was a career .298 hitter, all in the American League. Base hit to right, so Ramirez is 2 for 2.
Boy, going to the opposite field with that hole in the right side, it looks so easy. Ramos Ramirez with a great at bat there, fell behind 0-2, fouled off a couple of tough pitches, laid off a borderline pitch from our Southwest RoboCam. Ramirez taking advantage of the fact that Darren Erstad was holding on Derrek Lee over there, just shoots one through that right side for a base hit.
Buried in the dirt. Well, I didn't get a return address, but I got the same book that you received in the mail. It's called Say It in Japanese. Pretty interesting.
Well, there are phrases in there, mostly for travelers, but yeah, if you look hard enough, you can find terms that would apply here to baseball.
All right, let me give it a shot here. Shiriko Oyande Kudasai.
Yeah.
Call a mechanic.
Call a mechanic.
Let's hope we don't have to do that after the game on the way to the airport.
Let's see if you knew which one of those words was mechanic. You could make it plural and ask Kosuke, how do you like your hitting mechanics? See?
Hey.
Or if the bus breaks down on the way to the airport, you know, the tow truck driver's Japanese, Kosuke will be able to talk to him. You know, get us a mechanic.
Three and nothing on Fukudome with DeRosa on deck. That's ball 4. Close pitch. Kosuke's on for the first time. 3 walks issued by Backey. While we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Some action in the Houston pen. Dave Borkowski.
DeRosa will get a chance to hit here with Cubs on every base. This will be his first at bat this season with the bases loaded. So far this year, 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
Full of Cubs for DeRosa. Trying to break it open. Curve for a strike. Houston, you have a problem. That's a classic. Cued foul.
Back-to-back curveballs from Brandon Backey to D-Row here in this particular situation. Well, Derrek Lee, the runner at third base, has to be aware now. Those 2 strike counts, that's when pitchers like to bury a breaking ball in the dirt, sometimes elevate a fastball. Be aware that ball might get away from the catcher.
Into this season, Mark DeRosa, a career .386 hitter with 2 grand slams. With the bases loaded. But he strikes out. It's a big one for Backey. It's up to Terrio.
Another breaking ball from Backey. This time starts it in the strike zone, breaks it down low and away from DeRosa. From our Southwest RoboCam. Strikeout of Mark DeRosa is going to put it on Ryan Terrio's shoulder here with the bases loaded.
Leadoff home run from Soriano to give the Cubs the lead. With one out, Lee walked. Ramirez singled, Fukudome walked, and then DeRosa struck out. Off to Pennsylvania after this one for the Cubs' first trip. 3 there in Pittsburgh and then 3 in Philadelphia next weekend. Terrio behind in the count.
Backy is really leaning on that breaking ball here in a jam. 3 in a row to Mark DeRosa. It's a called strike on a low breaking ball that time.
Coming back, Terrio just stays alive.
Pitches in the ball game for Brandon Backy here in the 5th inning.
That's a lot.
Starting to pile up.
Well, how about Dontrell Willis? He couldn't throw strikes early on, but on a no-hitter, I think into the 5th against the White Sox before he eventually left. Good eye, 2-2. There have been a few no-hitters where guys have walked 6, 7. I think A.J. Burnett had a no-hitter in which he walked 9. Effectively wild.
Big pitch right here in the ball game.
Two pitch, ground ball to short. Tejada will throw to first. And the inning comes to an end. The Cubs strand 3. They've left at least 1 in every inning, but Soriano's home run makes it 2-1.
Just because I'm a foster kid doesn't mean I'm a lost cause.
I have the potential for greatness.
Some people have an attitude about me because my parents have problems.
Give me a chance.
Do something to help me make it.
Make foster care better.
Don't write me off.
Foster kids are our kids.
Dude! Dude. 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 Dude.
And everywhere I go, there's always something to remind me of another place and time.
Now you can slow down and grill with new Kingsford Hickory Charcoal.
Time for the results to our AT&T text poll question. We had over 1,300 texters respond to Thursday's question, and they more than doubled it today at 74% said Kosuke Fukudome, which Cub has gotten off to the best start. So almost 3,000 responses. So keep them coming. I have to alert our production crew, however, for some reason, when people texted to 97999, they were forwarded to my cell phone. I've gone over my limit for the month. So I hope I'm reimbursed, and everyone who texted me, I'll do my best to get back to you within the next decade. Are you a texter?
When necessary. My fingers are too big. I hit the wrong letters. I'm all over the place. But I've been known to send a text or two. I don't live by it like some people I know, Michael.
The 1-1 pitch to Hunter Pence. A bounding ball to Derrek Lee. He will underhand to Zambrano, who gets over there in a hurry. I know some teenagers like to actually sit in the same room 5 feet away from one another and text each other.
Well, I mean, there's something to be said for technology, but there's also something to be said for actually communicating with other human beings via words.
The pitch to Darren Erstad is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. RBI single for Erstad back in the 3rd inning. Zambrano now up in the low 80s with his pitch count.
You know, and pitch count obviously is important to pitching coaches and managers to monitor what your guy is doing out there on the mound, and you certainly don't want to overextend anybody past what they're capable of doing. But if you talk to pitchers in the big leagues, they'll tell you there's a big difference between throwing pitches with nobody on base or with a runner at first and 2 outs than what Brandon Backey has had to go through in this ball game today. He's had Cubs runners on base in every inning. The Cubs have left at least 1 guy on base in every inning. He's had to throw a lot of high stress pitches in this game. So not only the high pitch count, but the conditions in which he had to make those pitches add to the stress of the situation.
The highest stress Zambrano has faced was in the 1st inning, right off the bat. 2 on and in scoring position, but he got out of it. Always pretty stressful when you face Carlos Lee in any spot. Zambrano 3rd in the major leagues in wins since the start of 03. 77 wins. Johan Santana at the top of that list with 83. Roy Oswalt at 79. Erstad missed it. Ball caroms off the bricks. The throw by Blanco right on the money to Derrek Lee.
So many different things that could have gone wrong on this play. None of them happened. From our Southwest RoboCam, ball gets right through the wickets of Henry Blanco, hits the bricks, comes back to him in good shape. His throw somehow tails around Darren Erstad as he's running down that first base line. D. Lee backs into foul territory after recording the out. That ball could have caromed in any direction. It could have hit the backstop and dropped back there somewhere. Henry could have had a much longer throw to make. Could have hit the runner in the back. D. Lee could have come off the bag.
Zambrano with a break here as Carlos Lee just missed one. He got under it. Soriano the catch. And a 1-2-3 inning once again. 9 in a row sent down by Zambrano.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Pepsi. Every sip gets you closer.
Hey! No!
Every sip gets you closer. It's Justin Timberlake MP3s.
Hey.
Hey to you. HD TVs. Millions of songs from Amazon MP3 and more. Sign up at PepsiStuff.com.
Today, I plan on not freaking out about my wireless bill. I plan on saying whatever when my daughter talks for hours. Yeah, I plan on being totally down with calling Denver in the middle of the afternoon, huh? Hollering at my boys, kicking it with three-way calling. I plan on grabbing my celly and getting my...
Dad!
Oh, sorry.
America's most reliable network introduces a plan with truly unlimited calling. Talk as much as you want with anyone in the U.S. for one flat rate. And now buy a text-friendly NVR music playing chocolate for just $79.99. Verizon Wireless.
The generation that swore it would never get old didn't. Welcome to the summer of life. And now there's an official hair treatment of the summer of your life. New Touch of Gray from Just for Men. Lets you keep a little gray. Works gradually. Just comb in, rinse.
Never trust anybody over 90.
Keep a little gray with New Touch of Gray.
It's too funny. Funny as Pets and People, tonight at 7 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Cubs 2, Astros 1. As the Cubs look to get back to 500 before they hit the road. Blanco, Zambrano, and Soriano for the Cubs against Brandon Backey. The pitch in there, 1-1. Fly out near Bourne. Visit the official online shop of the Chicago Cubs at Cubs.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including clubhouse caps and t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Check out the Cubs.com shop today. Ma'am, you have a photo on your head. There it is.
Oh, there it is. Homemade visor. I like that. Creative.
Pirates avoided the sweep, or are avoiding the sweep, leading 9-2 late at Florida. Jack Wilson on the DL with a strained left calf. Freddie Sanchez has been day-to-day with a right shoulder injury. He's coming off surgery. Today, Chris Gomez at second, Luis Rivas at short. Gomez with 3 hits, Rivas with 2.
It's the same Rivas that was with the Minnesota Twins. Is that?
That is correct.
Correct. Yeah.
And we're going to make Alan Trammell feel very young, because we'll talk about Chris Gomez in Pittsburgh. They played together in Detroit. It always makes a guy feel good, right?
Sure.
One of your former teammates is still playing. Zambrano was thinking about breaking his bat.
Well, it's time to check out today's Nissan drive of the game. Alfonso Soriano's first home run of the season came on a breaking ball to straightaway left. It came back in the 5th inning, giving the Cubs the 2-1 lead that they enjoy right now. That's our Nissan drive of the game.
Well, he had the go-ahead RBI bases loaded walk earlier this week.
Tough son.
Perez with the catch. We'll go to the 7th inning. It's 2-1 Cubs.
Gas, tonight at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
You know, every day at 3 o'clock, Budweiser Brewmasters in St. Louis taste samples flown in from all 12 of our local breweries to ensure that every Budweiser tastes the same, coast to coast. That's a sweet job.
They say a man should always dress for the job he wants. So why am I dressed up like a pirate in this restaurant? It's all because some hacker stole my identity. Now I'm in here every evening serving chowder and iced tea. Should have gone to freecreditreport.com. I could have seen this coming at me like an atom bomb. They monitor your credit and send you email alerts so you don't end up selling fish to tourists in t-shirts.
Offer applies with enrollment and Triple Advantage.
Budweiser, first with refrigerated rail cars, first with Born on Dating. And now this, the new Fresh Lock cap. Keeps the air out and the freshness in. Innovation. Now that's Budweiser.
Everyone has their routine. It's the same old stuff. Nothing new. Well, it's time to shake things up. Put some bada bing into your day. Even kick up your heels. The cure for every day is laughter. So laugh it up with America's Funniest Home Videos. Weekdays at 3. Then get hit again. Weeknights at 7. America's Funniest Home Videos on Superstation WGN.
Time for today's Bud Light Fan Cam. As the first signs of summer come to the Bud Light bleachers, we feature Bruce Springsteen, girls in their summer clothes. Bruce Springsteen from his recent release Magic with girls in their summer clothes. That's today's Bud Light Fan Cam. Bud Light keeps it coming. Carlos Zambrano's been the boss today, limiting the Astros to 1 run on 6 hits so far.
Shot and a goal. Nicely done. Two strikes on Miguel Tejada. Bob Dernier will conduct the 7th inning stretch coming up. A drive deep to left field. And this ball game is tied halfway up the bleachers for Tejada. His first home run as a National League player. Got out in a hurry, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. That made a loud noise off the bat, a hanging breaking ball. Zambrano leaves that ball back over the inside part of the plate. Tejada with a line drive into the bleachers in left field. Just didn't get it out there where he wanted it.
Career home run number 259 for Tejada, whose entire career had been in the American League with Oakland and Baltimore prior to this season. So each team with a solo home run, Soriano and Tejada. Oscar Villarreal up for the Astros. Fastball is in there, 3-1. Jeff Blum playing third base. Strikeout and a pop out for him. Another switch hitter on deck, Perez. Zambrano back in it, still 3-2. Grounded past Jose Cruz Sr., the first base coach.
Talking about base coaches, we had a long chat this morning with Mike Quaddy about some of the concern with Major League Baseball and the base coaches this year. We've already seen Larry Bowa get ejected and suspended for arguing with an umpire about where he should be positioned at third base. And it's had all the coaches digging into the rule book to see the exact measurements and where those coaching boxes should be. The Cubs actually can probably move their coach's box a couple feet closer to home plate and a few feet further off the line to be in accordance with the regulations in the rule book.
A little wave from the home plate umpire Brian Runge at Jeff Blum, who didn't like that call.
And we'll get another look on the replay here. Just a straight fastball on the outside corner. Blum certainly didn't think so, but his opinion doesn't really matter much in that case.
It's the 8th time Blum has struck out against Zambrano in 22 career at bats. Sky foul off to the left. Perez with his 4th major league team. Toronto, Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, and now Houston. They'll go 1-3. 2 outs in the inning. Time to have a ball with our friends at the Illinois Lottery. Bob Dernier, Cup great, and the current outfield and base running coordinator. He just threw that pitch to his son. We'll talk to Bobby about that first pitch coming up. Here he comes. Hi, Bob. Boy, I'm feeling very inadequate. Pete Stacker and Bob Dernier, 2 of the greatest voices on the planet, in the booth with us. And David Bickler can sing. I mean, on cue. Bud Light, real men of genius.
On cue and on key as well.
Right. Seven hits for the Astros. The Cubs have 6. In a 2-2 tie. 1 error was on Michael Bourne in the 4th. Big swing and a miss. Stretch time.
Former Chicago Cubs center fielder Bob Dernier.
All right, Cub fans, let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back for it. For the Cubbies, if they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some runs.
Do you know what time it is?
Of course I know what time it is. I know. I understand, okay?
Your taxes are due in less than 2 weeks.
Look, I don't need the pressure.
Fortunately, there's the federal free edition at TurboTax.com.
Today, I plan on not freaking out about my wireless bill. I plan on saying whatever when my daughter talks for hours. Yeah, I plan on being totally down with calling Denver in the middle of the afternoon. Huh? Hollering at my boys, kicking it with 3-way calling. I plan on grabbing my celly and getting my...
Dad!
Oh, sorry. Okay.
America's most reliable network introduces a plan with truly unlimited calling. Talk as much as you want with anyone in the U.S. for one flat rate. And now buy a text-friendly NVR music playing chocolate for just $79.99. Verizon Wireless.
You're watching the Superstation, America's home for baseball. Also available in HD.
Bob Brenly, Len Casper, and now Bob Dernier in the booth with us. Former Cub and the outfield and base running coordinator for the organization. Always good to see you, Bobby. How you doing?
Great to be back, sitting up here with you pros and watching a game here at Wrigley.
You're way too kind. This has been a fun ball game.
It has. We need some runs right here. It's perfect timing.
Johnson, Lee, and Ramirez against the new Astros pitcher, Oscar Villarreal. Brandon Backey went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs.
Villarreal came in the ball game yesterday to face Aramis Ramirez. He walked him and then immediately was taken out of the ball game. Sinker slider pitcher.
Corner men in a little bit. Respecting the speed of Reed Johnson. Well, how was spring training for you, Bob?
Oh, it was great. We couldn't. I don't think we could have had a better spring. I'll speak for the minor leagues in particular. I mean, we got some new young blood and some guys who grew up playing baseball in the backyard, Bobby. So you know, I'm really encouraged. Looking forward to 08.
Your first impressions of Kosuke Fukudome, all around.
Oh, this guy's. He's been in the backyard in Japan, and you can't hide it. He has a complete game. There's really nothing. I haven't seen anything that he can't do. So first impression, awfully good. This is my first look at Reed Johnson too. I haven't got to see him play live and in color.
The kick and the 2-2 pitch just off the outside corner, and it's a full count on Reed Johnson.
I was talking to Reed Johnson before the ball game today, and he was amazed at the fan reaction he got for grounding into a fielder's choice but driving home a run from third base, and got a standing ovation from the fans on the third base side. He was kind of shocked about it, but I told him these fans understand the game. They know what's going on. They appreciate when you play the game the right way.
This will be Hunter Pence out in right. Well, maybe there's a little correlation because you came to the Cubs just before opening day, right, in '84, and a similar spot here for Reed Johnson.
Yeah, and you know, one thing I remember hearing from Harry Carey years ago, he said, Bobby, one of the things I love about you is even when you stink, you look like you're trying. And you know, it's a funny thing from Harry, but the truth was that's exactly what he was speaking from the fans' heart. You have a rough time, but you go beat out a fielder's choice, keep your team out of a double play.
Derrek Lee has given the Cubs the lead again. Oh, man. Is he hot or what? The out he made was to deep center. 3-2. That sounded sweet.
He got all of that one.
Boy, April has been his second least productive month throughout the course of his career. Off to a red-hot start this year. That ball is absolutely clubbed.
Cubs have hit at least 1 home run in every game. They have 2 this afternoon.
You know, it looked like he was geared up for fastball, Bobby, and he got it.
Boy, the good ones, when they get the pitch they're looking for in a zone, they can do something with it. They rarely miss it, and in D. Lee's case, he never misses it right now.
See Felix PA. They're in the middle of your screen, and I know you've worked with him in the past, and the Cubs just want him to play great defense, and if he can contribute a little bit offensively, that's great. But I know the #1 priority for Felix is defense.
Yeah, you got to go catch it every day if you're going to play out there, and he's young. He's going to learn to hit. We all had to learn to hit at this level no matter what you did in the minor leagues, and he's in that process right now.
There's a strikeout. Let's go back to that big home run by Lee.
Boy, Bobby, you know this is a great feeling when you catch that ball right on the sweet spot at full extension. We talked about he was looking fastball, got fastball, and did not miss it. Our Southwest, how far did it fly? 397 feet deep into the bleachers in left center field.
And that's part of good hitting, Bobby. Remember, you know, most of us are good fastball hitters, and sometimes you got to look fastball, you get it, and what they call cheat a little bit, but you know, really what it is just anticipating, and you get it, and then, boy, Derrek put a good swing on that.
Intelligent anticipation. Yeah, having a good idea what that pitcher's going to try to do to you, and when he does it, you're ready to hit it.
No hits for Fukudome, but he has walked. We had a shot of your first pitch. Was that your son receiving that pitch?
Yeah, it was a pitch out. I told him, you know, I gave him the sign, we'll pitch out, left-handed hitter. That way I didn't run the risk of short hopping him.
I mean, how about a father and son playing catch on Wrigley Field in front of a packed house?
Yeah, that was on purpose. We tried to make that happen and got to make it happen, and it's always, you know, it's another special memory here. This is, you know, this house is full of that.
Ground ball right at third baseman Jeff Blum. Bob, always a pleasure to see you. Don't be a stranger.
I won't. Thanks for having me. I'll see you guys down the road.
Well, forget this. Every time you come back, you're going to be here a lot. Home run for D. Lee, 3-2.
The Final Four take on the Bee Gees.
I knew nothing about the Bee Gees. Nothing.
And these two are doing the same song. But only one does it right.
Horrible. Everything about that was horrible.
American Idol Rewind.
Tonight at 8 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Dude.
My name is Sandra, and I got on eHarmony, and I met and married the most wonderful man of my life, Scott. I told my sister Tracy to give eHarmony a try. She met and married Todd when Todd's mother Eunice saw how great of a match we were.
And she was ready to get a dog, and so I just asked her, I said,
Mom, wouldn't you rather have a man than a dog? So he puts me on eHarmony. Lo and behold, look what happened.
She got my dog.
Find out what everybody's talking about. Visit eHarmony.com today.
I'm selling corner gas.
This is terrible. It's awful. I'm going to be sick to my stomach.
I'm going back to Toronto. I'm going to open up a restaurant there.
What? When?
Today.
You're opening a restaurant today?
No, I'm leaving today.
All things come to an end.
Goodbye, you jackass.
Corner Gas. Tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
Derrek Lee with a home run to give the Cubs a 3-2 advantage. Felix P.A. is in for Reed Johnson in center, and Carlos Marmol is now pitching to a pinch hitter, Jose Cruz Jr.
See the numbers for Marmol on the early season. Once again, we talked about Jose Cruz Jr. the other day. You'd much prefer to have him up the plate as a left-handed hitter, much more effective as a righty.
Away for ball 2-1.
Boy, what a good outing by Carlos Zambrano once again today. 7 innings, gave up 7 base hits, struck out 7, did not walk a batter.
.95 on the Heat, 2-2. Just past his dad, Jose Cruz Jr. Well, the foul ball past Jose Cruz Sr. The next one is lifted left side. Into the outfield grass goes Terrio, but it'll be Soriano to make the play.
We're talking about Carlos Zambrano. Here is today's player with too much good stuff, brought to you by AM/PM. Of course, it's Big Z. 7 strong innings in the ball game today. Astros pushed across the runner to the third on a leadoff double, a single later by Darren Erstad, and then the solo home run by Tejada. That was it. Big Z plus some potassium in those bananas equals a Cy Young Award. Well, that would be nice. Carlos Zambrano, too much good stuff. Thank you, AM/PM.
No walks today for Carlos. He walked 1 in the opener. That is a very, very good sign. 1 walk in his first 13 2/3 innings. Under control.
That's a big reason he was able to pitch 7 innings in this ball game today. There were a lot of instances over the last couple of years where Carlos was at the 100 pitch mark in the 4th or 5th inning, and you really don't have a lot of choice. You've got to get him out of there shortly thereafter, but very efficient with his pitches today. Ahead in the count, no base on balls, pitches strongly through 7.
Even up on Bourne. I guess the changes were straight up. PA for Johnson in the 2 spot. Marmol in that 9 spot. 3-2. We mentioned Bob Howry has struggled early on. Lou trying to use him in less pressured situations. Let's see what happened here. I mean, the umpire didn't make a call. Henry Blanco thought it was strike 3, but Brian Runge apparently called ball 4, right? No, they're going to appeal. And now Bourne's upset. Cecil Cooper's going to come out. Kerwin Danley said, no, don't come out and talk to me.
I'm not sure if Henry was throwing the ball around the horn based on the location of the pitch, or the fact that he thought Michael Bourne swung at that pitch very close to holding up. Nobody really knew for sure what was going on. Yeah, Lou wanted to get help from the third base umpire right away. Rarely will you get an appeal call like that so late after the fact, but Kerwin Danley, when asked by home plate umpire Brian Runge, stuck that right hand up in the air and said, yes, indeed, he did swing at it.
Pence hooks it foul. I don't know about you, but I like what Kerwin Danley did. I think he basically said, look, they just asked me on appeal. I have nothing more to add to this. I mean, some umpires might actually go talk to the man. He just said, no, let's just move on.
Keep the game moving.
Avoiding confrontation.
Well, and that's an argument that was going to go nowhere anyway. What's he going to change his mind? Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, I got it. I saw the play. Yeah, just stay there.
And if there's any argument, it's with the home plate umpire for the delay. So the fans are up. 2 strikes on Pence. Marmol coming back. Golfed foul.
And one thing you worry about with Hunter Pence, at least based on what we've seen in this series, with 2 strikes, the infielders automatically back up. He's had 3 or 4 swinging bunts in this series. I mean, obviously that's what you're supposed to do as a defender. With 2 strikes on the hitter, the bunt is out of the equation, so you want to back up into a position to give yourself as much range as possible.
Crowd wanted it, didn't get it.
Just a little low, but that's a good place to miss for Carlos Marmol. Either hit that outside corner or miss further away. Good location. A lot of hitters that have trouble laying off that pitch.
Popped him up behind home plate, and Henry will not have a chance. Ernie doesn't have his license plate.
Well, that guy doesn't have a car. Well, most people put him on their back bumper.
Got him that time. 3-2 pitch, or 2-2 pitch. Pence didn't think it was a strike, but Brian Runge did. And the inning is over. Boy, he is really upset. Second strikeout of the inning for Marmol, and it's 3-2 Cubs.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. You're now free to be more productive. Visit southwest.com today.
When you're constipated, harsh stimulant laxatives can cause cramps. And cramps can give you a bad day. Phillips caplets don't have harsh stimulants, so you get relief overnight without cramps. Relief feels better with Phillips.
All hail the Buffet Explorer, the Lewis and Clark of pizza. May your discoveries be grand and your rewards saucy. Cece's Pizza, Pasta Salad, and Dessert Buffet for an unbelievably low price.
See you tomorrow, Steve.
Do not let her get gum. You know it's Tony Stewart.
Tony, get the camera.
I've got the camera. Oh, Tony, he's a huge fan. Ready?
Tony, you okay?
Armor All wash, wipes, and tire shines. Go ahead, stare. And for even better defense against UV rays, try new and improved Armor All Protectant.
Introducing Yo Plus, a new yogurt with special cultures and fiber that naturally help regulate your digestion. With the delicious Yoplait taste. Life's better on the plus side. Try it for 10 days and feel the difference.
Wait.
Make an appointment with Becker tonight at 12:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Right-hander Dave Borkowski, just a couple of holdovers in that Houston bullpen from last year. Now pitching Carlos Marmol with a 1-2-3 eighth inning. Pitching in the spot normally reserved for Bob Howry. Nothing in 2 on DeRosa. 3-2 Cubs on the Derrek Lee 7th inning blast off Oscar Villarreal.
You think back to the beginning of spring training, Len, when the competition for the closer's role was between Kerry Wood, Bob Howry, Carlos Marmol. And Lou at that point said that he'd feel comfortable with any one of those 3 guys closing the ball game, so you get the same feeling that he'd feel comfortable with any of them pitching in the 8th inning. Marmol with a great job today, a couple of punch outs to end that top half of the 8th.
Busy homestand for Marmol, appearing in 4 of the 6 contests. Terrio, then Blanco here in the 8th. $40,929. I'd say weather-wise this week, we'll give it an A-. Only because of 2 rain delays on opening day, but normally it's very shaky this early in the season. We're very happy with the way the weather worked out. Got better and better.
The last 2 days have been an unexpected surprise this early in the season. It was beautiful baseball weather. And it's going to be like this the rest of the summer, right?
I hope. Yeah, the last 2 days, we would take this every single day. Pulled foul through the bullpen. Look out. a lot warmer in the sun out in the bleachers. A little cool in the shade, but again, it's sweatshirt weather.
He might have had a sweatshirt when he got here today, but he's misplaced it. Maybe he loaned it to them.
Now, does he, I hate to even ask, is that functional or fashionable? I know it's not fashionable, but does he think it's fashionable? Jeff Plum throws. Is he that warm?
Want to make some kind of statement.
You're on TV, sir.
Flex, let's go. Put your left arm up. Show some biceps.
I can't hear you. I don't have my shirt on.
Oh, brother.
One out in the inning. I just want to know if he actually has a shirt with him somewhere. I would hope so. Just in case.
Well, you would think when he walked out the front door today, he probably had a shirt on at some point.
Because like in the movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High, he might walk into a place where it's no shoes, no shirt, no dice.
They may have started a trend here. Now everybody's going to take their shirt off thinking they're going to get on TV. And there are some people in the ballpark today we do not want to see with their shirts off.
Broken bat. And it's dropped by Erstad, and Terrio is safe.
That's why you run him out. Routine ground ball right at a very good fielding first baseman in Darren Erstad. Terrio takes absolutely nothing for granted. Busted down that first base line and ends up on base.
It's an infield hit.
It is? Okay.
Indeed. That's the call from Don Frisky as Blanco hits into a 5-4-3 double play. Kerry Wood coming in for the ninth in a 3-2 Cubs lead.
There's trouble in Twindom. Good, because I never want to see your ugly face again. Then don't look in the mirror. And somebody's gonna have a cow. Got milk? On Sister.
Tomorrow at 5 Eastern. Scrubs, tonight at 11 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Most people don't know exactly what Beechwood aging is.
You mean Budweiser's extra step of lagering their beer over a bed of Beechwood chips, resulting in the unmistakably clean, crisp Budweiser taste?
Are you reading off my board?
What board?
Tired of another sleepless night? Ambient CR is offering the 7-night invite. Call or visit 7freecr.com for your free 7-night trial offer of the only sleep aid with 2 layers to help you fall asleep and stay asleep. Until you know how Ambient CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Sleepwalking and eating or driving while not fully awake with amnesia for the event have been reported. In rare cases, sleep aids may cause severe allergic reactions, such as swelling of your tongue or throat or shortness of breath. If you experience any of these behaviors or reactions, contact your doctor immediately. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic and can be taken for as long as your prescriber recommends. However, like most sleep aids, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. Get your free Ambient CR 7-night trial offer now. Just call or visit 7freecr.com.
This is Budweiser's unique 7-step brewing process. It's what separates the Great American Lager from your average beer. It's what allows you to enjoy your 2-step process. Open and drink.
Lou Piniella pacing with his team, leading by a run. It's been a tight ball game throughout. 3-2 Cubs. Kerry Wood trying to save it for Carlos Zambrano. Three up, 3 down on Saturday to get his second consecutive save. His first save was Thursday against Milwaukee. Hits the target 1-1, mid-90s on the velocity. This is not going to be easy. After Erstad, it's Carlos Lee and then Miguel Tejada. Didn't face these guys yesterday. Nice play by Carey. 1 out. Here's Lee. There's a final in Florida. The Pirates beat the Marlins 9-2, so the Pirates will go into tomorrow's game against the Cubs at 3-3. The Cubs are hoping to do the same.
25 previous at bats for Carlos Lee against Woody, a .440 batting average, 11 for 25 with 1 home run. However, he has struck out 8 times.
He did hold up. Chris Guccione with a call.
Yeah, naked eye, it looked like they got that one right. He was more getting out of the way of that pitch as it continued to ride up and in. Clearly kept the barrel of the bat back.
Strike 2. 1-2.
Lee trying to influence Brian Runge there, lifted his hands in the air and leaned away from that pitch. It was right down the heart.
Ground ball to third. 2 away. The producer of Cubs baseball on WGN Sports, Pete Toma. Our director is Skip Ellison. Mark Brady is our associate producer. The executive producer of WGN Sports is Bob Vorwald. Thanks as well to our stage manager up in the booth, Paula Ascroba. Our studio coordinator back at WGN, Joe Pizzo, and our entire WGN Sports crew here at Wrigley Field. It's been a great first homestand. Cubs looking for their second straight win. A strike on the foul by Tejada. Brewers won again, shut out the Giants 7-0. Milwaukee now 5-1. Atlanta beat the Mets. John Smoltz over Johan Santana, 3-1 the final score. Cardinals 5-1. They shut out Washington. Swing and a miss. A strike away now, 1-2.
Power on power that time. 95-mile-an-hour heater on the outside corner to a good fastball hitter. Tejada came up empty.
Was Tejada's leadoff home run in the 7th that tied it. But then Derrek Lee got it right back with 1 out in the bottom of that inning. Wow, get off me.
Get off me is right. Woody missed his spot that time. They wanted to paint low and away with a fastball. That one ran up and into Tejada. Very defensive swing there, just trying to stay alive and stay safe in that right-handed batter's box.
opportunities. And the Cubs win the series. The final today, Cubs 3, Astros 2. Derrek Lee stays hot, and Carlos Zambrano gets the win. Kosuke Fukudome has to learn how to celebrate after these wins, but he has a lot of help out there in the outfield.
I'll tell you, he's got everything during the course of the game wired tight. Still has to work on his celebration a little bit after a victory, but that's all right.
Cubs 3, Astros 2. We'll be back to Wrigley Field.
Just because I'm a foster kid doesn't mean I'm a lost cause.
I have the potential for greatness.
Some people have an attitude about me because my parents have problems.
Give me a chance.
Do something to help me make it.
Make foster care better.
Don't write me off.
Foster kids are our kids.
I'll call you then. Bye.
Devin?
Cindy, it's been a long time.
Yeah, I'll say. You've got the whole Verizon Wireless network. Mr. Fear of Commitment. It's weird.
Well, they came with my pay-as-you-go plan, so I only pay for them when I use them.
So you haven't changed at all?
Nope.
Verizon Wireless pay-as-you-go. Forget long-term contracts. Just pay on the days you use your phone. That's reliability on demand at select retailers and Verizon Wireless.
Do you know what time it is?
Of course I know what time it is. I know. I understand, okay?
Your taxes are due in less than 2 weeks.
Look, I don't need the pressure.
Fortunately, there's the federal free edition at TurboTax.com.
Introducing Yo Plus, a new yogurt with special cultures and fiber that naturally help regulate your digestion. With the delicious Yoplait taste. Life's better on the plus side. Try it for 10 days and feel the difference.
The Superstation is America's home for baseball. The Pirates and Cubs are swinging lumber in the Steel City. Cubs, Pirates, Monday at 1:30 on Superstation WGN. It's great to be home.
Just think about it. Get it?
The Final Four take on the Bee Gees.
I knew nothing about the Bee Gees. Nothing.
And these two are doing the same song. But only one does it right.
Horrible. Everything about that was horrible.
You're horrible.
Plus, exclusive interviews.
If I had gone home, I was going to kick Josh right there on national television.
American Idol Rewind.
Tonight at 8 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
What do you know about this Lacey person?
You want a refill?
Yes, please.
I know she doesn't have cataracts, so you don't have a chance.
There's something really attractive about a man who likes kids.
Hey, you want to come over later? Help me babysit?
No way. I hate kids.
How did it end?
I left without telling you and phoned your parents to say the wedding was off.
She's not a snob, is she? She's snobby?
I feel like a glass of wine. What's your house red?
Hey, what's it say on that bag of wine over there? No, that's ketchup, the one beside it.
You know what? Beer's good.
Here's today's Budweiser play of the game. Derrek Lee capping a fantastic first week, hitting .400 on the week, his third home run of the season, a game winner for the Cubs. A perfect balance of taste and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager.
There's a new joke going around. Have you heard it? What is the 5 fingers say to the face? What? Slap.
I appreciate what you're showing me right now.
On the marquee, big letters.
If you
backhand. Put it in the ball. Bring it up. It gets out. A home run.
Well, I want to feel that hand with somebody.
When your in-home disasters become America's biggest laughter, we've got it all caught on tape. Every weeknight, you get all the hilarious moments of AFE. Even when things go extremely wrong, laughter makes it oh so right. It's the cranks, pranks, and all-out stupid maneuvers that make Monday nights a splash. Join Tom Bergeron as he brings you the ultimate in reality television.
Common sense is the enemy of comedy. My new motto, stop thinking, start taping.
It's a knockdown, flipped around good time. So when life gets a little crazy, remember to take some time to laugh. America's Funniest Home Videos. Weeknights at 7 Eastern on Superstation WGN. It's great to be home.
Chicago Cubs baseball brought to you by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. AM/PM. AM/PM. Too much good stuff. The Illinois Lottery. Play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Comcast. Proven advanced technology. Call 1-888-4BEST-TV. By Pepsi. Every sip gets you closer. And by Southwest Airlines. You're now free to be more productive. Visit southwest.com today.
There was a fun one today. The Cubs beat the Astros 3-2 for their second straight win. Stay tuned. The Chevy Dealers 10th inning show is next.
Today we're observing the Geico Gecko, an extraordinary creature with a most curious adaptation. The ability to save people hundreds of dollars on their car insurance. Let's watch. That's odd. Whoa. Fascinating.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Free your mind.
Do what it do, baby. Yeah.
Yesterday you were a loan shark.
Yeah, but I was never that into it.
Booyah. I'm impressed.
It's not about the money. You like to chase.
Don't interrupt me, honey.
Y'all making fun of me.
Your commander is on deck.
We're hitching a ride. Hang on. Get off the nuclear warhead. Yes.
Super. You're watching the Superstation, America's home for business.
It's the Chevy Dealers 10th inning show. Now, here's Len Casper.
Tight one today here at Wrigley Field as the Cubs beat the Astros 3-2. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors, 8 left for the Cubs. 2-7-1 for Houston. They left 3. Zambrano over Villarreal. Kerry Wood with his 3rd save. We'll be back.
Watch Funniest Pets and People and get your groove on. Kick up your heels. Maybe do-si-do or do-si-don't. Watch people and their pets get funky. It's so funny, it'll bring you to your knees. Boogie down with Funniest Pets and People. Weekdays at 6 on Superstation WGN.
See you tomorrow, Steve.
Do not let her get gum. You know it's Tony Stewart.
Tony, get the camera.
I've got the camera. Oh, Tony, he's a huge fan. Ready?
Tony, you okay?
Armor All wash, wipes, and tire shines. Go ahead, stare. And for even better defense against UV rays, try new and improved Armor All Protectant.
By the Bee Gees. Nothing.
And these two are doing the same song. But only one does it right.
Horrible. Everything about that was horrible.
You're horrible.
Plus, exclusive interviews.
If I had gone home, I was going to kick Josh right there on national television.
American Idol Rewind.
Tonight at 8 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
This is the Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show. Brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. Chevrolet, official sponsor of the Chicago Cubs.
Well, it was a fun first homestand. The Cubs went just 3-3, but played their best baseball right at the end, winning the final two to take this series 2-1. Derrek Lee with the game-winning home run today. He had a fantastic series of 1.6 consecutive hits. And after making a long out, he walked and then hit the game-winning home run in the 7th to give the Cubs a 3-2 victory. The Culver's sweet defensive play when we return.
The Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show is brought to you in part by Culver's. Bright Smiles, fresh, juicy butter burgers, and velvety smooth frozen custard. Come on into Culver's and get Culverized.
Kingsford Charcoal invites you to slow down with new KC Masterpiece Chipotle and Lime Marinade.
Tired of another sleepless night? For help falling asleep and staying asleep, there's 2-layer Ambien CR. The first layer helps you fall asleep fast, but unlike other sleep aids, there's a second layer that helps you stay asleep. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Sleepwalking and eating or driving while not fully awake with amnesia for the event have been reported. In rare cases, sleep aids may cause severe allergic reactions, such as swelling of your tongue or throat or shortness of breath. If you experience any of these behaviors or reactions, contact your doctor immediately. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic and can be taken for as long as your prescriber recommends. However, like most sleep aids, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. Ask your prescriber about Ambien CR for a good night's sleep from start to finish.
Time to check out our Culver's sweet defensive play of the game. Carlos Zambrano was in some trouble in the first inning, but Alfonso Soriano with his first outfield assist of the season gets one of the fastest players in baseball, Michael Bourne, at the plate. Our Culver's sweet defensive play of the game. Final today, Cubs 3, Astros 2. We'll see you tomorrow, 12:30 Central Time from Pittsburgh.
The Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show has been brought to you in part by Culver's. Bright Smiles, fresh, juicy butter burgers, and velvety smooth frozen custard. Come on into Culver's and get Culverized.
Hey, Tanner. How you doing? You're getting to be a pretty big boy.
Corner Gas, tonight at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN. We now join our program, already in progress.
Drop that remote. You just flipped over to Whacked Out Sports. A half hour of rubberneckage, flamin' wreckage, and shots to the package. You got some grinders that are keepers, but mostly losers and weepers. If poor judgment was an Olympic event, these goofballs would take the gold. That's the way we swing on Whacked Out Sports, the most insane sports bloopers show ever.
My adrenaline is pumping.
Once again, it's time to play
Thinning the Herd.
And here's your Thinning the Herd host, me. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We're here in New